scrubbers I was talking about, then they end up being just broken.
S5 Pro stepping on the scene, gonna stomp you out with his powerful machine. Machine learn, coming at you fast, you're gonna learn the hard way, this will be a blast. Games, that's what we bring, unleashing the fire will make your ears ring. You can challenge us, but you can't compare. PS5 Pro reigns supreme. We're true play, ain't no chance to survive. PS5 Pro taking the throne, it's our time. Step aside, we're in control of the game. Machine learning coming your way, and it's gonna bring the pain.
It's coming.
Mark's already gonna whisper in your ear about more SSDs, machine learning you real. Now on the yacht, Herman bringing in the goods. How smart can this little guy be? He knows what dancing on machine will bring it to gamer. Can't wait to be seen. No chance to survive. PS5 Pro taking the throne, it's our time. Step aside, we're in control of the game. Machine learning coming your way.
Producing technology useful in both worlds. It doesn't mean that we as Sony simply incorporated the PC part into our case. This continuous improvement in AMD technology means it's dangerous to rely on teraflops as an absolute indicator of performance, and CPU count should be avoided as well. In the case of CPUs,
ain't over, no chance to survive. PS5 Pro taking the throne, it's our time to rise. Step aside, we're in control of the game. Machine learning coming your way, it's gonna bring the pain. Oh. Tomorrow night, gonna make the gamers bright. PS5 Pro on their mics, even though they said no this time. Death Stranding 2 on the way. Marvel's message, what a day. Gamers buzzing in the air, soon they'll be there. I swear, PlayStation fever. Can't resist the call. Gonna pick it up, they won't fall. Video Game Awards Part 2, more surprises coming through. Every heart begins to race, dreaming of that special place. They'll be lining up so fast, promises they made won't last. PlayStation magic in their veins, tonight it's driving them insane. PlayStation fever, can't resist the call. Gonna pick it up, they won't fall. Part 2, more surprises coming through. Every heart begins to race, dreaming of that special place. They'll be lining up so fast, promises they made won't last. PlayStation magic in their veins, tonight it's driving them insane. PlayStation fever, can't resist the call. Gonna pick it up, they won't fall.
Yo, what's up, grinders? How you doing? Sorry so late, man. Had a little incident right before the show, so had to take care of that. And now I'm back, considering now with an ice pack. I fell on the way down, but anyway, I feel I'm just icing it up, my elbow, but we're good now. We're good. Hopefully. Hope everybody's there. Yeah, I was coming, trying to get to the show and got a little bump, but I'm okay now. The grindhouse must go on. Must go on. So how's everybody doing out there? Shout out to you. Everybody coming on in here. El Nini in the house. El Nini in the house. Mr. Tennis, Ron M, how you doing? No, I didn't get Phil Nass. What's up, Cephalon Snow? Yo, Anonymous Boss Sam. We got a special show for you today. You can see that there's a lot of topics here. And, we always do the one-man grindhouse, but I thought today we're going to have something special. We're going to have some special guests on this show. You may know them from Old School Saltiest Gaming Podcast. We got the Actually, you know what? We do our intros here a little bit differently, Grinders. So hit that like button, share it out. We're at 32 likes. Let's try to get to 200 likes tonight, because we're going to be whacking, going crazy predictions. If you missed a show, I did a live stream a couple of days ago. I banged my elbow on the steps as I fell down the flight. So there you go. That's what happened to me. Somebody put something on the step. I went right down the steps on the way to the show. There we go. So I'm icing it up right now. The show must go on. There we go. But yes, so but we're gonna do it a little cool. We're gonna get him in here, then we're gonna have an official welcome here. So let me make sure that we get him. Let me get my Discord up here. Let's get this and let's bring him on in. So there we go. We got Thrifty PSGR Gaming. What's up? How you doing, Thrifty? And Kofi, Creative Kofi, the Creative Kofi. How you guys doing? Welcome to the Gaming Grindhouse. Old school, like we're going Saltiest Gaming podcast.
Yeah.
How you guys doing, man?
The mini reunion, man.
That's right. Yo, and I did something special for you guys. I have a little special musical intro for both of you. So hopefully you could hear it. I was trying to make sure that you guys could hear it. Well, let's see. Can you hear that? Can you hear that?
Not
you. No, you can't hear that? Oh, okay, wait. Let's see if you hear that.
Is it going through the live stream?
No, you should.
No, I can't hear that.
Okay, I hear it through the stream.
Oh, you hear it through the stream? All right.
Yeah.
You hear it through the stream? We got a little welcome intro music for him.
Hey.
25.
It's coming.
There you go. It's coming. People could barely hear it. Oh,
Yo, Jez,
man.
I'm impressed by your attention to details of this song. I'm serious.
That's great.
There you guys go. We got a little music. What's up, guys? How you doing? How's everything going? Yo, Thrifty, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I am good. I am waiting for my kids to go to bed so I can play Astro some more. Because if they're awake, I'm not able to play the game because they are. So we're just waiting on them to go to bed. I started Final Fantasy 13 last week on the PS3. So I am playing through that right now. Excited. I got the Pixel Remasters physical edition pre-ordered for the PS4. And I am hoping to get Metaphor as well on day one. So that's what it's looking like for me.
Man, you're stacked. Yo, Kofi, what have you been playing?
Yo, I'm obsessed with Remnant 2. I know Remnant 2 came out last year in the summer, but tomorrow, I know during this whole, PlayStation announcement, they are releasing DLC 3 and a new boss rush mode and a completely revamped what they call a prism system, which allows you to really spec into however you're building your unique character. So we're getting new DLC, a new character class, at least 4 new bosses, and then the boss rush mode will allow you to, what I believe, at least run through 20 bosses back to back on, on the harder difficulty. So a lot of the Remnant 2 community has been grinding it out these last few days. A lot of live streamers have been talking about it. It's one of my favorite games of the generation for sure. But outside of that, I have been playing a JRPG import. Who would I be if I wasn't playing a JRPG import?
There you go.
The game I'm playing is called Reinatus. I did notice that Metacritic just crushed them. It was not well reviewed.
Oh no.
I am still within the first 17 to 20 hours of the game, so I'm still going to hold a lot of my thoughts. This is, by a developer, Furyu, that has always had. I'll kind of be transparent. They've never really had the budget to see a game with complete how'd you say, a complete gameplay loop. There'll always be something missing, where the story won't hit the right beats, or the gameplay action seems to be missing some mechanic that we've seen demonstrated years ago. And this game is the closest I've seen to them with introducing a new IP. Again, this is Reinatus, and it feels like there's pretty solid combat. But because I'm still in the first third of the game, I'm going to hold back my opinion. But, by all means, there are some JRPG veterans I've seen that have put out reviews. I would encourage you to listen to them and read them and see if, you like them before you step anywhere near buying it.
Really?
But I will be posting a lot of gameplay for it. This game comes out in the United States in, I think, the next 2 weeks. And then, of course, the Japanese import came out in July. But shipping was crap for me, so I didn't get the game until like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, gotcha. Oh man. So why is it getting review bombed? Well, not review bomb, but why is it getting bad reviews? Is it the English dub version, or is it the?
Is it because it performs like a square tire on a vehicle?
Oh damn.
Yeah, I will say performance wise, even I like Furyu, the developer.
I played the demo, so I
had the money. Oh yeah, correct. So there is
Yeah.
a demo out. If you play in the United States, North America, there's a fully English. Fully. I believe there's English voice acting. I actually don't know.
No,
if there's
it's not
voice acting.
English. It's all
Japanese,
Japanese, but it's English subbed.
Okay. So you can play the game with English text, but you're gonna feel the lack of funding and tech with this developer. Okay, it does not look amazing. We're talking like early PS. I want to be nice to them, but this is like late gen PS2 graphics. I think, like, for example, God of War 2 probably looked better than this. But I tried to support this dev because I think they're one hit away from graduating to something more impressive. And this is the closest I've seen to that. So to see them kind of get crushed on Metacritic, maybe they deserve it, right? I haven't finished it, but I know that they've got a lot of great ideas. They just fail on the execution. At least they have in their prior games. To name a game they released recently, it was called a Trinity Trigger. I'm forgetting the name of the title. It came out, I think, 2 years ago. Trinity. I'm looking it up right now, just making sure I'm not crazy.
Gotcha.
Trinity Trigger. Yes. Yep. Trinity Trigger. It came out, and that game was also kind of middle of the road, not too impressive story wise. So, they always seem to have that challenge. But yeah, still rooting for them. Still lots of other JRPGs. Thrifty mentioned Metaphor. Of course, my favorite Trails series is getting a new game only in Japan in a week. It comes out on the 29th, I want to say. So that's going to be a big focus, but I don't post spoilers. So it's a little hard for me to engage with that just yet. Once I get the game, beat it, then I can post my thoughts, spoiler free. So if you're a big fan of Trails, shout out to you. I know that you probably have been playing Trails Through Daybreak. I love that game. It's one of the best games in the series. And then we also just heard that if you want to play Trails from the very beginning, the original title, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, is getting remade in-house by Falcom. We don't know when it's coming out to the US just yet, but it is on the way. So if you've been waiting to play something a little more up-res on your PlayStation, or we hope it's on PlayStation because right now it's just Switch, but we hope it's on a console that, can boost those graphics. Please be excited. I think it's going to be fun.
I mean, here's the deal. Even if not, that's the one game that I can't play unless I bought one of the old consoles to play it. And so I'm excited about that because right now I'm playing Trails from Zero, and Trails in the Sky is before that. So, anyways, sorry.
No, one last thing. I see one of your members, or somebody posted East 10. I totally forgot about East 10. I love that game. It was the first East title I platinumed last year. If you are an East fan, if you love East 9, so East 9 was my favorite in the series. Since beating 10, I'm still undecided. I don't know which one I like more between East 9 and East 10. But the reason I like East 10 so much is with less characters being playable, you really get to focus on Karja. Karja is like the new, female sister figure that Adol has. Almost like if you know East, if you know Adol, you know Dogi. They're brothers in arms. Karja is that third person that really could make them like a trinity of warriors or however adventurers. So to have her kind of introduced early in the East timeline is awesome. She's very, hard-headed in some spaces, but in others, she is vulnerable. And so you kind of have this awesome dynamic with Adol because of story circumstances. I won't spoil anything, but East 10 is awesome. Like I rarely go through a JRPG immediately and beat it twice. East 10 was that exception. It's that good.
Yeah, I've been doing the I saw Ron M's. I don't know what's going on with the gifting members. I just checked. Everything seems to be going well. Everything's turned on, so I don't know. I don't know if it's the browser. I don't know if it's the phone. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I just checked and everything's turned on here. I know YouTube's been a lot of wild lately, so who knows what's going on. But hopefully, hey, if you could upgrades anything, we're trying to get that new emoji. Thrifty just give it works. It works.
PlayStation. I had to check it out.
Thrifty, thank you for the Thrifty's testing the system. There you go. It works. It works. There you go. So thank you so much, Thrifty. I appreciate it. So what I've been playing is I've been doing the Warhammers. Listen, Warhammer Space Marine 2. The game, it is like Gears of War on steroids. It is crazy the amount of stuff that's going on in a screen. I'm near the end. I'm going towards the big ship. There was even a part where I'm not gonna spoil it, but the game is really, really crazy. Like it's the same stuff over, like you're still fighting the same hordes of enemies and things like that, but it's just so chaotic and just so cinematic in the sense. Like it is just so much stuff going on there. And definitely if you're playing with other people, it is a wild time. But it is a really, really great game. And I haven't really played any of those Warhammers really into the Space Marine. I played a little bit of the first one, but man, Space Marine 2, it is awesome. Like it is really just one of those games where you want that kind of Gears of War style, but it's much smoother and there's so much going on and there's just so much fighting and blood. It's just chaotic and cinematic. It's just one of those games that you just get lost in and just want to you don't feel like, the story is sort of like it is what it is, but just the gameplay, it's really fun. And definitely with a lot of, a couple of players on there as well. I've done some of the multiplayer as well. It's okay. It's definitely you move a little slower and there's no, it would have been cool if they had the enemies run around on the map too, but it's not that bad, but just the game itself, it's pretty awesome. It looks friggin' wild. And just the stuff that's going on in the background and it runs pretty well. I've tested it on a number of, and I've been playing it on PC because I heard about the PlayStation. I got it on sale with the Steam keys, but then I've been trying it on all different PCs and it runs pretty well. It's definitely a little taxing, trying to get, like smooth, like over 60 frames but otherwise like just hovering around 60 frames and getting it a good resolution because it looks so great. And there's so much going on. You just want to make sure that frame rate stays there because it looks so cinematic and really awesome with all the craziness going on. I've been doing that, and I've been playing Astrobot as well. But one of the things is I'm down a PS5 because I traded in my PS5, because they were doing that crazy trade-in program over at GameStop, giving me almost at $390 it was.
Okay.
So somebody's getting that, pro.
Hey,
I'd say they're about to give you a lot of reasons why you want that.
I hope so. We'll talk about that definitely. But definitely, like I traded in because they were doing such a crazy deal. They were doing an extra $25, so I traded that in. So I'm sitting on that, and then I have another one there, but me and my son are sharing that one. That's his. But for getting that amount of money and trading it in, plus what else? There's another thing I was going to trade. Yeah, so I'm just kind of sitting on that. Plus, so this is the craziness that I'm going to do, dude. Ready? So on the 26th, then this is the dilemma. I'll just let you know, like, because we do consumer stuff. I told everybody go get those hard drives and look at that. That was I predicted that a week or two before that even happened. That was going to be a thing to get those hard drives. I mean, those disk drives. Everybody started doing that, so I knew that thing. This is my thing, right? So the 26th, you pre-order it. That's only on their website. If you want to go GameStop, that's on October the 10th or the 6th. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pre-order it on PlayStation just to kind of see if I'm going to get one. Then once I lock in one there, then I'll do the stuff over at GameStop. The other option is to do Best Buy, and Best Buy sent me a thing for trading in my old GoPro. So I got some credit there too. And I would like to do that because I could do the no interest financing at Best Buy, but GameStop I can't. So I'm kind of torn between the two of them. Even though I GameStop credit, I'll just use that to buy other things. But that's kind of like where I am. But I want to kind of lock it in on the 20th in September when it comes on the PlayStation one, just to see in case the stores become a fiasco. And then the thing is also is I don't really trust GameStop. They'll take your friggin' pre-order and then they'll be like, "Oh, you're not the first wave." You know, I don't trust them. I trust Best Buy more than I tried GameStop. I don't know if you have that experience.
It feels like a rope-a-dope. It feels like they posted all of this stuff about giving us your PS5 in anticipation for the Pro. But like my store here was allocated like 2 PS5s when they first released. So
exactly, that's what I'm worried, dude. I don't trust them. Like they'll take you like $100 or they'll take you $50 or whatever it is for your deposit, but you might not get it on launch day. Like I would rather do it online than in the store because I don't trust the store. They would just take your pre-orders and be like, okay, pre-order, and then they'll be like, okay, oh, we only got like 15 of them and we got like 30 pre-orders. So they'll start doing it in a wave because they do that shit. Like I don't trust them. But see, who just Johnny Gaming? He's doing the same plan. You got to lock it in exactly. So yeah, so that's the thing. Like I'm just not a fan of GameStop in the sense of that stuff. But that credit for that game for that PlayStation, you know, I'll just use that. That'll fund my games for the next year. Like, you know, when I get like Death Stranding 2 and stuff like that, I trust them on that. But sometimes with big things, if you want to get them day one, I don't know, man. I look at them with a side eye. So that's where I'm kind of at. But I'm really gonna be there on Thursday when they go order, like when they do that to try to lock it in for that one. And plus, it's a 2 terabyte as well. I have my other 2 terabyte SSD sitting here, but it's the fact that it's another 2 terabyte and I could throw this one in there and have 4 terabytes of PlayStation power. That's pretty wild. So,
do you keep a lot of games installed, or are you?
Yes, I'm a friggin' hoarder of games,
dude.
It's
maxed out.
I max it all out. I install everything that I install, and then it's like whenever I sit there, it's like a smorgasbord of games. I'm like, what am I in the mood to play today? And I'm bad like that. That's it. Because like I'm not one of those kind of like I download a game, I play it all, and then delete it. Like no, man, I play it and then I'll like do something else. Like I gotta have my sports games installed because whenever I'm in the mood to play like a sport game, I gotta click on it, and I don't want to wait. So I install everything. I'm pretty much an addict in there. I think what I finally did was I got rid of the hard drive that was storing my PS4 games on it because I wasn't playing a lot of PS4 games on that external hard drive, and it was a 3 terabyte that I could free up using it somewhere else. So that I wasn't playing a lot of PS4 games because you could offload your PS5 games on there, but you can't play them from there. You got to move them over in order to play them. But yeah, anyway, so that's we'll talk more about the PS5 Pro. Shout out to everybody coming on in, and everybody was testing the system. I appreciate it. We got Thrifty starting off the train. Tool Man, we got the tools. Yeah, we got the tools in here with a gifted grinder, and also Josh Ayers, member of 18 months, used his super chat for his membership of 18 months. 18 months, next stop 24 months to platinum grinder. Definitely, Josh Ayers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That member train is working. There we go. Never go full GameStop. Holy shit, Michael Meridian with the facts in the chat. We're filled with facts over there. So the topics. Yeah, the grinds board is full tonight. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Tennis. So we're going to start going. So, yes, we're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. So we are just, shy of like 70 something left to get there. It's just fluttering around there. Like, it doesn't want to crack that 30 to give me 70 more to the thing. I don't know what it is. But if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're going to 3K and we'll get there eventually. And then the members, we're moving on up. Once that thing locks in at 250 members, which are about 20 short of those, we'll get that emoji to do that. But that's the road to 3K. We'll revisit that again in mid-show or something like that. But we got topics to talk about. So if you missed some of the content from this channel, I did a retro crazy stream with The Sopranos a couple of days ago. It got flagged out the wazoo, but I fought it and kept it. I removed all the licensed music and all of that stuff, so it's still good to go. So yeah, it was wild. Woke up this morning. Yeah, it was wild show. So that one still, they kept it up. I didn't think it was gonna last, but it's there. So it's there. That was a wild stream, man. Retro gaming. I played PlayStation All Stars. It was awesome. Get on that with that retro gaming there. Then we did the show of Friday show, and then we did Wednesday show. We were talking about this topic, which came out at Friday show, was the 400,000, the whole 400 million question right here. Yes, the pimp stick. I was fighting the pimps and everything. Holy crap, it was wild. But the 400 million question, I forgot to put the little M there. It just says $400. I wish it was $400. Let me put the little M.
What it should be. Go ahead.
That's what it should have been. With DLC included. That's what it should have been there. The $400 million question, because that thing came up from Cole Moriarty spreading the news from I heard somebody and I interviewed somebody. Then people are challenging that. Media these days. Then we got God of War Ragnarok on PC not doing too hot. Then we got Sarah Bond's interview extended. And, she did some more quotes about how bad Xbox is. Not only how she can't listen to Phil and how to go to HR with his dumb ass, but they have some more stuff going on. And Sarah Bond talking about how she could contribute to Xbox from what she did with T-Mobile. And then we got the, and I even alluded to this on Friday. It's so, listen, we do this all, I told you, like, there's bootleg Windows Central goes out there, and they're always like the Me Too of gaming. Like, when PlayStation celebrated the 30th anniversary, don't you think that Phil got to crawl up that ass of Windows Central and talk about, oh, the Halo Xbox 25th anniversary will be coming in a couple of years. Oh, damn. Like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. But they got to do the Me Too over there because they got to be part of the conversation because everybody's like, PlayStation's doing a 30th anniversary. What's Xbox doing? And then Bootleg Jez is like, I'm on it. And he does some bootleg article trying to get them to talk about it. Phil's probably like, I can give a shit about 25 years, but I'll give you some quotes. So there you go. Xbox 25 years. Then we got the Xbox Game Pass Revolt, which was a tweet that I just tweeted out on a Sunday morning because I got the news feed and I just said, hey, here you go. And it blew up to like 200 likes. I was like, shit, I didn't even say anything. I just put the article up there. But apparently Game Pass people are pissed. Then we got our State of Play predictions and Tokyo Game Show predictions as well. And their State of Play was just announced for tomorrow. We'll talk about that because hopefully there's some wild stuff in there. And then the Tokyo Game Show is going to be this week as well. So the thing I'll bring up here, guys, with you guys. First off, did you hear about the Cole and Moriarty? I'm sure you saw it. The $400 million for Concord costing that amount of money, where it was $200 million up front for they were working on it, and then Sony threw in another $200 million. He said for a total of $400 million, which is bigger than apparently Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima. What do you think about that from that news piece from Cole Moriarty? Thrifty, you go first.
Okay, I was going to let Kofi go first.
Let Kofi go first then.
So
you just gave up your slot. Kofi goes first then. Oh, this is the grindhouse. Nah, you go first. That's all right.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I disagree with this number. I thought it was far-fetched when it first came out. And as soon as I heard and saw the clip where he said my sources, I said, fuck right off. That's when I
he
left.
Said he talked to a dude.
He said my sources within the company. Okay, I'm out. And then fast forward a couple days, and I have somebody who is actually in the business world, who I actually trust, David Faulkner, who said 150 staff at average 200K per head for labor, tech, and occupancy cost gets you 240 million over that lifespan. So I believe David Faulkner over Colin Moriarty because, well, I can see David, I can talk to David, I can mention David's name, and nothing happens.
You're right.
But then fast forward, and then Tom Warren also jumps in. Tom Warren says, I don't know how he pulled this number out of this air. It makes no sense to me. It just doesn't math. So here's the deal. Did they lose money? Yes.
Yeah.
Did they lose this much? Probably not.
Hi, buddy.
Also, like, we don't know what the purpose was, right? We don't know if the purpose was testing out the Unreal Engine. We don't know if the purpose was concept design, if they were trying to prove a concept on this. We don't know if all the rumors and everything are true. They all could be. It could be one of these toxic positivity situations and blah, blah, blah. But as far as the 400 million goes, I think that that's a stretch, unless they're including the acquisition of the studio. And then I'll pass.
Yeah. Yeah, Kofi, what do you think?
Yeah, I was really conflicted when I first heard this. I will be honest, I've listened to Colin for a long time, even before Kind of Funny. So I do know his position is a lot different in terms of having access to media information, right? We know that PlayStation doesn't really give him a lot. And this person who reached out, I somewhat buy, this 400 million. I don't know if I feel like it's that high because, he mentions the 200 up front, then 200 to keep quality control. But, to Thrifty's point, it sounded like he excluded other costs with actually getting the studio. So it could have been even beyond that. And it just seems like if they really had that much pain in getting this off the ground, is that really the type of PlayStation that we're familiar with? Because we've heard horror stories, right, of games being in development and not looking good, but then finally getting enough time to do well, right? Like the Cory Barlog documentary on the creation of God of War. Shuhei Yoshida came by, and Cory heard through the grapevine that whatever was shown in the middle of the development of that game was not, this game is amazing. But then they were able to grind it out and invest the time. And so I guess when I think of that reputation of PlayStation, it's a stark contrast to what we're now seeing here. Now, the fact that the game went on sale for less than a week, I don't remember if it was 10 days, can also speak to trying to acquire a studio and not organically trying to bring a studio into the stable of PlayStation in the way that we're used to it, right? Not like a Sucker Punch or even like Media Molecule when they were making, Little Big Planet. So, even if it's 200 million or 300 million, it's still incredibly disappointing, especially because from my perspective, being, diehard PlayStation, it's not the type of title I'm looking forward to. I've looked in the genre, like, for example, there was a Overwatch clone called Gundam Evolution. It plays just like these, right? It's a hero shooter, and I thought it was really fun. That game also got run out of service. I think it was run out of service about 12 months ago when it originally launched in, I want to say 2022. So, if this game was in development for 8 years, which we believe, that would put them very close to the launch of Overwatch. It's probably a good idea to compete with Overwatch back then. But, times have changed so quickly.
Yeah, wasn't that debunked too, though? The 8 years, like then they said it was 4 years. Like I thought, remember that initially somebody said 8 years and then they reduced it.
Yeah, it was like the studio had only been open for 6 years.
Yeah.
So you're going from concept to studio opening, from studio opening to design, from design to PlayStation, and then from PlayStation to release. Like, so they were probably hard actually working on the game for like 4 years, maybe 5.
Yeah, because I just remember like that. Yeah, and the other thing too is that Halo Infinite was supposedly had a $500 million budget. So you're saying this thing had a closer with all those staff and and they're how many people they have working at 343? Like, it's pretty wild. So like, this is the other thing too. Like, from when it was hot news that when it came out, and then people started debunking it. And I have the article here, saying how Christopher Dring was also saying that, he reported that but they had a 600 million, may have 600 million, I don't know, been debunked by Biz Christopher Dring. In case you missed it, he said $400 million budget. He's saying that no game has that budget. So is it opinion? Nobody wants to admit this thing. And also, to the way Colin was like, oh, I talked to somebody. He's like I know, and he didn't name him. It wasn't an interview with somebody where he put him out there. Like, he didn't say who it was. If he interviewed him, which he said he talked to somebody there. So you don't know, where this is. It's just said it, but the media and the way it just blows up, and they said $400 million. And now people are countering that, saying that, like, I agree with Kofi, it was a loss, regardless of whatever it is, how much of a loss. My thing now, thinking about it, sitting around here with the $400 million, like, that's just an easy thing to spread around. Hey, $400 million for a game that failed 3 weeks. But if it really, really cost that amount of money, you really think that they wouldn't give it a shot over 3 weeks? Like, they didn't even give it a month.
That's how I feel.
Right? That's what I'm thinking now.
Maybe market it.
The thing is, I don't know. Like, how would you, if it really costs that amount of money and you even had a roadmap for it or anything like that, like, you really would shut it down that quickly? I'm just like, you wouldn't write it out at least to maybe, December or something like that, to at least see, like, it's out there. Like, what's it going to cost you anymore? Just, if there's like 10 people playing it, like, who gives a shit? Like, well, you really would just turn it off and refund people money? Like, not even kind of just let people just play it. Like, they erased it. They eradicated it. And if it costs that amount of money, you would think that, I don't know. Like, I think that you would give it maybe a little bit longer than what they did, because they didn't even give it a friggin' month. Right. Like, they were just like,
I mean, they made a DualSense for it. And
they made a DualSense for it and stuff. And again, it could be that thing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised about that whole thing. The thing that irked me from that thing wasn't even the amount of money, because again, it's a loss regardless. What irked me was that whole supposedly positivity toxic shit that, like, Herm, nobody wanted to take any criticism of the game. And that may be true, which that kind of irks me more, because you tell me they couldn't have read the road after the beta, after what the media was saying, after what was going on, the pre-orders. Like, they even pivoted there, because they were giving out codes with the pre-orders, and then all of a sudden, they didn't announce this at first, but then a couple of weeks later, they said, oh, and if you're PlayStation Plus, you'll get access to the beta, which definitely seems that, oh, maybe their pre-orders were very low, and they just kind of threw in the PlayStation Plus beta, open beta for it, because at first, that wasn't the news. The news was pre-order the game, get 2-3 beta codes. They didn't say anything about having a plus. That came until later, which made it look like that, to me, that they probably didn't have enough pre-orders. They wasn't pre-ordering a lot. So, like, if they didn't read this, I do not understand that they would just, like, kind of, like, just let it go out there without kind of adjusting it or putting it back. And especially if there's 400 million in there, you would just put it out there like that, knowing the audience that it's facing. And Herman just didn't want to hear it and just put it out there. I don't know. Or maybe it was Herman was getting it from Hercules, like saying, hey, this is our service game, we got to get it out there. I have no clue, but it was a disaster, a mess, a fiasco. And it was probably the worst. They just probably want to forget about it and erase it from, from all their things.
Relax.
Hence the reason we have a PS5 Pro, and a
Astrobot
game show, and a State of Play, and Astrobot. Like, they said, oh, one thing bad? Oh, hell no, we're not Xbox. Now we need like 5 things good.
Yeah, we're not riding Concord like Halo and be like, oh, we'll fix it later and we'll keep talking about it for a year and we'll just use that. But that's what happens when you have a lot of cooks in the kitchen. You got a lot of stuff going on, so you could pivot like that and kind of make this a forgetful thing. Because, like, if Astrobot didn't come out and it was just quiet and all you had was Concord for the rest of the year until next year, like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff that Xbox has done. Like, where they just kind of had Halo just sitting out there and they had like nothing to kind of fill in that space or to kind of deflect or put something else out there to kind of say, hey, this is not us. this ain't us, like we got something else. They didn't do that, any of that stuff. Instead, they just said, well, all right, that chicken was undercooked. We will take that back and we will give you a new chicken. Like, here you go, take this one. So let me get to these chats here, these super chats and funding here. Here we go. Zero Steel, I got you, Zero Steel. I see you, and I see you, Stephen Leone, in there. He goes, I'm trying for the 30th anniversary and regular pro. We will see. Good to see Kofi and Thrifty on, almost like the old salty podcast. Hell yeah. Shout out to you, Stephen Leone.
Yeah,
That's right. And Stephen Leone also, I saw him gift a bunch of members that got that. Stephen Leone got that. 10 gifted members from Steve Leone. Yeah.
Oh, PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, there it is. And then MASH came in with another 10 gifted members. They want that emoji. They want that emoji.
I'll get you more pumpkin. I'll ram it.
It's coming.
It's coming. That emoji is coming. We don't want the ramming the pumpkins. Oh, shit, not this time. But, yeah, shout out to you. Thank you so much, MASH. I really appreciate it. And then Zero Steel with a member of 15 months goes, it's fishy as fuck, considering that you're spending $400 million on unproven dev and cost $40. There's just no way. That's another good point, Zero Steel, with his milestone 15-month chat. You know, that's another thing. This game, you would put $400 million in a game that you're gonna be charging $40 for. like you're gonna have to sell a lot of it to make that up, right? So. Yeah. You know, that's another thing. Like, you know, you're putting that amount of money in there. Like, that's like a Last of Us budget. That is you know, it's like that's a $70, $60 game budget. This game's $40 and you're putting all that money in it, you know, and maybe added with the cost of the studio and the acquisition and those things, maybe not just in the game entirely. Maybe that's the culmination of it, like the acquisition of the studio. I didn't go back and look to see how much they even paid for it. I don't even think we even know how much they paid for Firewalk at all there. Right. But so yeah, exactly, Josh, with no additional monetization, like really $40, put it out there and say, oh yeah, we'll make that money back. Like, you're just putting a loss out there, you know.
You're my number one customer.
How do you feel about Herman right now?
Really strange. Shout out to Cosmic Hero with the 5. He goes, hey, Jez, just stopping by to say hello. Hope all is well. Can't stay tonight due to a wrist muscle injury. Keep gaming, guys. Yo, thank you so much, Cosmic Hero. I appreciate it. Hope you feel better, man. Hope you feel better. But yeah, like, it really is kind of weird. I don't think we're ever going to know how much, you know, they paid for it. I think we're just going to kind of forget about it. And I think, you know, unfortunately, I think the next thing is that some of the Firewall guys maybe get absorbed. Or the studio just kind of goes belly under. But I can tell you right now, if I was Jade Raymond's studio, I would be sweating bullets right now. That's what I would say right now. If Sony is able to just shut something down, if it doesn't gain traction like that, if they're thinking Helldivers 2 numbers and your game don't hit it and we're pulling it, I don't know, man. And
God, I hope not.
And it kind of feeds into the next topic, which is the God of War Ragnarok thing. And the fact that it's not doing super hot on PC. And if you go, and I alluded to this, I was talking about this on a little bit on Friday, but it's not really doing that great. Like, it's especially not hitting the numbers that it was hit, the first God of War hit. And it has been well received, and the review scores are down. In response to the Steam numbers, it says, according to SteamDB, it peaked at 35,615 on Steam, which is not bad, but it's a far cry from 2018's God of War, which hit over 70,000 concurrent, almost double that. One of the main differences between the two titles is that the original didn't force players to link PSN to Steam. And it seems to be in some of the reviews that's what people are kind of pushing back at, this PSN link stuff. However, Ghost of Tsushima, in this article says it, you know, had a PSN requirement, but however, it didn't stop it from doing well. So I think people are kind of running with this God of War not doing too well on Steam as compared to the first one, as a kind of like a, you know, I think the PSN is a thing to some people, but I don't think it's the thing. I just think that People played the first one. You got to think about it. Like, that was like when Sony was first breaking the ice, and it was the first time God of War was on PC. That's like everybody's like, yo, and it was the one that was like the God of War. Ragnarok was great, but it was definitely like, unless you really were invested in the story and really loved the first game, like, there wasn't much in the second game that would say like, oh man, this is like so new, that you would think that the whole bunch of people would want to play it. Plus, it didn't have that newness because there already was a God of War on PC that people already tried out. So I think it's a little bit of sequel fatigue. If I was Sony, I would say, yeah, just make them hunger a little, maybe. Maybe 2 years is a little too soon. Let them feel what our God of War is like for a nice 5 years or something like that. Then put your shit on PC. That's my recommendation. I think you're feeding them too much, too good. It's like they're eating too good right now. Like, I think the turnaround is just too soon. I'll make them starve a little. That's what I would do. I would say, you know what, God of War 2018, you got that game? You got Ragnarok? We'll see you in 10 years on the 60 series cards. I think we'll wait a little bit, maybe at least 5. I think it's too soon. Drip feed them. That's right. That's what I would do. If I was Sony and I saw these numbers, I'm like, you know what? I think the God of War came out too soon. They weren't hungry enough for it. Let them wait. That's what I would take from this. And the PSN thing sucks. They don't like that. But you know what? If they really want to play the game, just like Ghost of Tsushima, that did big. The first one, first time Ghost of Tsushima on PC, and it was an amazing looking game. They like that.
Yeah.
You got to let them get hungry. And that's the thing, like 2 years, 3 years. Like, yeah, I would say right now, Spider-Man, shit, I would wait another 2 years for Spider-Man to go on PC. I would say, you know what? When we're like done with our trilogy movie, that's when I'm putting it out. Let them wait. Because the thing is if you leave more time from your PC releases, if the FOMO picks up, if people really want to play it, and it gives you a PlayStation that kind of place to play it for a while, and then you could put it on PC. But if you just kind of just stack the deck and keep putting it in a couple of years, I don't think they're going to see the numbers that they want to see. And that's what I think. I think they got to wait. I think they waited I think it was too short. What do you guys think about the God of War on PC?
That's such a hard question to answer. Just like to your point, of course, Ragnarok's first week out on PlayStation sold better than 2018. So you would imagine the same for PC, to your point. And then to see it dip down, I don't know how to, like, I'm trying to think from PlayStation's perspective. How do I get this second user base that has a way larger library of games to compete with me? How do I keep them excited for a series of games? I don't know the answer to that. I feel like we would need more data or more information to say, oh, they like it when we release this game when there are no sales, right? So your average user is not buying, I don't know, Horizon 0.5% off, or a Capcom game, 50% off. So it can't be doing Gabe Newell's takeover during the summer. It's got to be, in the fall, or maybe in the spring when most people are
they
getting
didn't market either, Kofi. They didn't even market.
That's true.
This
I was going
either.
to say, I didn't see marketing
They
for this game as much.
stealth drop this thing.
Yeah. Maybe they were marketing for something else that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, but they did not celebrate this game coming to PC as being God of War. Like, they did not. It just kind of just dropped.
Yeah, the week before it came out, I remember looking at an article and going, "Oh yeah, this is coming to PC." It jumped out at me as something I forgot. So I think it's the combination of those things: people being overly outraged about the PSN linking, them not marketing it, and you have to get your timing right until a series will escalate in sales, because they haven't done a sequel. Well, no, Horizon Forbidden West is out on PC, right?
Yeah. Forbidden West. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that was the first
with the DLC.
With the DLC. So that's the first, complete edition, or with the
which is, I think that's the approach. Like, you let somebody come out, and actually somebody in the chat, he just pulled why did he retract it? But I think he said the right end. Jack Beast, man, whatever you tweeted, like whatever you chatted, that was right. It. He goes, longer wait time, DLC, cheaper prices, and mod support, or something along those lines. Like, that's perfect. That's exactly the recipe for success on PC. Like, wait for like if you're gonna do, I would say do an expansion, do some DLC. Then at the end of the DLC, after you sold it to your PlayStation, then put it out there for Game of the Year edition, PC release. Make it $40, not 60, not 50, not 70, because that's another issue. Is that when you put that game within a year or so, you're still trying to make that juice, that $60, which is not a very attracting price to a PC gamer who knows that they're the second wheel in this thing. They're not the testing it out. They're not the pre, the early access. This game is kind of like hand-me-downs. They know that. So maybe a $10 decrease is not enough. Like, that's why you got to make them wait longer so you could give them a cheaper price because you made enough. And then on top of that, make them wait longer, give them cheaper prices, and then include everything that you did with the game and give it to them of that. And that is a recipe for success. Then you will sell that quantity and get that reinvigorating. But I'm saying this, like year or two after that, your price is still high. They know it's the second, they know it's the hand-me-down, so you got to kind of entice them with widescreen support and all this other shit. Maybe too soon. But I agree with what you wrote. Yeah, what do you think, Drifty?
So in the vein of this being a mini reunion, how about I give an off-the-wall take that's going to make chat say I'm an idiot? Let's do that.
Shit, here we go.
Here we go.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
There we go.
Kofi, you brought it up that that the God of War Ragnarok on PS5 sold faster in the first week than God of War 2018, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Now you have God of War 2018 outselling God of War Ragnarok on the PC in the first week. Cool. You also know that Herman Hulst, Jim Ryan, Hiroshi Totoki, and the other guy have all pretty much echoed the same thing. Machino, I believe is his last name. I think I just screwed that up. But have all said the same thing, that they want games going to PC, especially their single-player, big action-adventure, movie-style games. They want those going to PC, so then when the sequel drops, you attach the PC audience to that FOMO. So there is a potential speculation, put your foil hat on, there is potential that God of War 2018 moved people over from PC to get a PS5. Not necessarily they swapped or their whole ecosystem changed, but from PC to PS5 to be able to play it day one. There is a chance that their marketing worked.
Yeah, I know that Jim Ryan's,
they're still doing it.
Yeah, they said something like that, but also God of War Ragnarok was on two platforms, the PS4 and the PS5. So that could be another reason why it increased as well. Or they maybe picked up a PS. I don't know, but yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
I see what you mean, though. Like,
I said it was a foil hat theory. I understand.
It was a foil hat theory. Yeah, I can see what you mean, though. Like,
I can see what you mean, though.
Yeah, they tried to say that stuff, but again, that is it's a tall. Yeah, and maybe that Thrifty. Let's go down your foil hat route. Then maybe that's why a lot of them who wanted to play it have already played it, and that's why they didn't buy it when it came to PC, because they already kind of jumped on it when it came out because they wanted to play it, and then maybe when it came to PC, it's like I already played it already. So the numbers kind of flow that way. That maybe that experiment, getting a whole bunch of people play the first one, made people want to play the second one, and they got to play it on PlayStation, whether they got it on the 4 or the 5. And then maybe they're not so enticed to buy it on PC. Again, it doesn't mean that if you have a PC, it doesn't mean that you don't get a PlayStation. And if you have a PlayStation, it doesn't mean you don't have a PC. So, like, the thing is that if I had both of them, you know what I mean? And which I do, like, I would say, oh, I could play it here now. And, like, just like if a game came out on PC that I want to play, I would, and it's going to come later down the road for PlayStation, I will just play it on PC if I really want to play it now. But the thing is like, you know, maybe they did. I don't know, but it makes sense but I do think if you look at the reviews, I do think that PSN shit is something. And I understand.
Dick.
Listen, they
are
these network. EA has some bullshit. Ubisoft Connect. They all have it. The difference is that PlayStation let them do it without the PSN for a while and then added it later. That was a huge friggin' mistake. You don't give somebody it for free without, like, you put those games out there, like God of War, Horizon, Days Gone, and you didn't have it as a requirement, and now all of a sudden you're making it a requirement. Now the problem is you drew attention to yourself, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the issue with the stupid thing, is that you made people show that if you came out the gate going, yo, you want to play our games? Log in, just log in, and now you're going. You set the precedent there. But the fact that you and it drew even more attention because in the multiplayer game of Helldivers 2, they dropped that shit in order to get more people to play, and then added it later, which drew even more attention to the stupid thing. And people, their ass cheeks pucker up, and if they could complain about something, they could complain about something, and they go, hey, before I didn't have to do this, now you're making me do it. This is stupid. And then they could complain about it. Now, whether they really hold Sony against that shit, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. But the problem is that they let them do it without it for such a long time for their other releases, and then they changed it. And when you do that switcheroony, you're going to get the pushback. And, you know, like I said, Sony FAFO, this is what happens. You know what I mean? Supposedly you knew your PlayStation customer, right? No, you can't pivot, Delta Victor. No, nobody can pivot. Not in today's world without the smoke. But listen, this is the thing. You knew your audience. Well, you got a whole new audience of expectations, and that's with the PC audience. So, like I said, you have a whole new crew of expectations and customers to satisfy. And Microsoft fucked around and found out, and you're going to do that now. Because I said before, they even said it. The PC is a different customer. They don't believe that they will ever buy a PlayStation. They're customers that are untapped customers. The thing is you're gonna have to learn about those customers, and you're gonna have to learn about what triggers them, what doesn't, and what it is. And you know what? And the thing is too, there's a big mob mentality on PC, especially with Steam community, and you got the community chats. You got all that review stuff there. There's a lot of mob mentality on PC that you may not have as vocal and influential as you do on console, because console really doesn't have that kind of forum where you could get this kind of mass kind of, like, it's an issue, and spread it out there. Like, you could just kind of bomb reviews and just be like, yo, directly affecting sales, like the review score and play is counting. Like, there are definitely things on PC, tools that they have access to that console really doesn't go up that shit. So that's a new customer that Sony needs to learn how to satisfy that customer if you want to be successful over there. If you don't, and you think you're just going to put that shit over there and it's just going to automatically be successful, that's a problem, and you're going to get smoked for that stuff. And if you don't learn from Concord how that mentality works, yeah, because I think a lot of that came from those big Overwatch communities. Those big communities live and thrive on those forums and stuff on PC. It's so easy to share that information and get people on social media that you could easily kind of create narratives and create perspective of games before you even get out the gate. Where console really doesn't have that, unless you have those console players that come to those forums and things like that. It's direct. Dude, they have a keyboard in front of them. Dude, and it can happen. And those are just, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just telling you, it's a new audience that they need to learn. They need to learn that shit. And you don't get away with that stuff. So I think, I do think the PSN is a thing. It is something in the reviews, but I think people just want to complain about it. Maybe they're playing the game and enjoying it, but then they're just complaining about it. But
so that's my thing.
Yeah.
And real quick, I agree with everything you said, except the part about the PSN at the beginning. And the only reason why is because EA didn't always make PC players have an account. Ubisoft didn't always make players have an account. There was a time where each one of these companies started branching off into their own.
It was a long time ago.
I get that, but PlayStation
because
is
they
also
started with their
relatively
stores.
new
They
to
made
PC.
you leave Steam and go to their stores. And they learned their lesson too.
Yes, so I do think everything else you said about learning the customer and all that is accurate, and 100%. If this is what they're going to use as a strategy to grow PlayStation, yes. agree or disagree, that's a topic for another show.
Sure, yeah.
But like that is absolutely 100% true. I do think that people on PC do like to they're keyboard warriors in virtual life and they're keyboard warriors in real life. And so sometimes when those two things merge, you create a super warrior. And that's what happens when you piss off a Steam player. They go Super Saiyan and their whole computer glows and their 4090 starts revving up and it's just amazing.
I tell you, it's a different customer. It's a different interaction. Just like I've always said, like early access is a nice thing on PC because you have that direct connection with the community forums, with the developer. You could give the feedback. Early access on consoles is a bunch of horse shit because all you're doing is getting a game for a discount that's broken. And it's just like your feedback is where you go. Oh, let me leave my PC now and go to my phone and let me go to leave my console. Let me go tell them. The thing is that it really doesn't facilitate that type of feedback to influence that. That's why early access is the thing on PC. And that's where it started because you have that. They give you a list of what they expect them when they come out. You could directly talk to the devs directly, like, and it's right there in front of you in the game, in your purchase order, like right there. Console, they don't have that shit. Like it was just like, oh yeah, here's a $30 game because early access, and we'll fix it later. You have no clue what the updates are, what's in the update, what are the release notes, what version you get. You have no clue on the console. It's a bunch of horse shit.
When I think of a game that had proper early access and is now loved by everybody is Baldur's Gate 3. I actually joined that early access purchase, I want to say like 3 years before release. They really grinded it out. And playing the original version of that game, it was a completely different turn-based mechanic. It was so. I mean, I'm very proud of that game,
though, right? You were
exactly. You caught bugs, you could report to it, and then they have updates and they're showing things, and you can keep the old versions running on Steam. It was very thorough. And that's how it should be.
That's how it should be. Because you're helping them, giving that feedback back, and they're adjusting it. It's a much more direct and intimate type of. You feel like you're doing something with it. It's almost like a crowdfunding or something like that. Whereas on console, it's a nice idea, but that kind of, you know, the real point of what an early access is, where I just feel like, you know, that, and that's why another reason that Talborn, which is getting destroyed, goddamn, on friggin' reviews and stuff. That game that was supposed to come out on an Xbox, dude, they put it on Steam to get all that feedback and stuff like that, and they laid it on Xbox, and yeah, they are. That game did not do what it, like, you know. Ooh, that game is not doing too well either, and they hyped the hell out of that stuff as a Game Pass day one, but it's not in day one, and day one sometime next year. Well, the way it's going, it might come out a year from now. The way that thing's going, it is wild. And know what else is wild? That Sarah Bond interview. Holy crap, man! Even that was behind some friggin' paywall. But man, oh man, so. Sarah Bond, you knew where she came from, right? You knew like where she used to work before Microsoft, right? Hit that like button, grinders. Anybody know where she worked before?
Actually, I don't remember where she worked before. It was nothing gaming related.
There you
go.
go.
It was T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
It was still yanking people's money out of their wallets in an unhealthy way.
Now, in her article, that interview with Dina Gata, the one that had us shook early in the year, in that article, Sarah Bond was the one that came up with that unlimited data, the binge. If you remember the binge on program where you could, like, your data wouldn't get consumed if you were viewing certain videos at 1080p and 480p, that was her, like, call to arms over at T-Mobile. It was the binging. It was the fact that you could just kind of, this binge on project that she said, and with video quality increasing, T-Mobile found that people were consuming a lot of data. Sarah says we're having congestion problems. The network was really under a lot of stress. So we sat there and said, wait a second, this is a video somebody's watching on their phone in a tiny screen. You can't tell the difference between 1080p and 480p. So we created a product in which people will opt in to make it 480p. In exchange, they could keep it unlimited. Oh, shit.
I can go directly to Black.
Sarah Bond racing to the bottom of the barrel. It was a risk, she said. I remember it clearly. I was driving to the office and sat down and said, hey, we could save the data if we just give them low Ps. 480p. She was a prequel to the Series S. More for less. But then we'll give you unlimited if you stream it at 480p. Don't stream it at 1080p. Only at 480p. And that's the day, she says, you're gambling with the entire business right now. I think I'm going to come to work and look at you. She says, the day we switched it on, we predicted it would go down by 9.8%. It actually went down by 10.3%. She was saving their congestion. And today, having video over phones at 1080p is pretty much an industry standard, and because of what they created there. So that's what she did. She learned to loosen the congestion by giving them less resolution videos, but we'll give it to you for unlimited. And that was her like whole two arms in a way that she raced to the bottom and said that stuff.
I see what you're saying. You're saying, in this particular situation, your average consumer is more focused on price. And that can translate to how game delivery is coming out of Xbox's stable. Is that the kind of...
Well, the thing is that she was brought in as a strategist and knowing how to manipulate subscribers. That was the thing for her, because she worked for T-Mobile. She had a little bit of that mobile experiment and kind of knowing how to handle subscribers. And I think she was kind of brought in as a way to kind of facilitate the success of Game Pass. I think that fell flat on its face, and I because now they're not chasing price. Right now they're in a conundrum right now, because they have increased the price to an unthinkable amount of money for a $250 a year for a service that people are not super satisfied with, because Microsoft's content roadmap is a disaster. Frankly, it is a mess. And when the games come out, they're not ready, and then they got to wait for patches and fixes and all this other stuff. But this was crazy, because I think at first she was brought in as a thing to help with subscribing, but then they changed her and they put her on Xbox hardware, which I don't understand where her knowledge is with that. Knowing that this was her kind of legacy over at T-Mobile, was her doing this subscription manipulation here to relieve the congestion of the network. You would think that she would be more strategized and successful in how to manage content and game services and subscriptions and try to grow their subscribers and grow their thing. Instead, Phil put her on Xbox hardware, which I don't think is even in her wheelhouse of gaming hardware. She wasn't even doing games. She came in and said,
no,
hey,
but I could see her
480p.
making the leap. I could see her making the leap. And here's why. Xbox has been all about doing less with less. Like they keep giving less, they keep doing less. And her example here that is in this is going from 1080p to 480p, because 1080p puts a drain on the network. They could go to 480p and keep their unlimited, right? That was the whole point of it.
We'll
so
give
she
them
was
unlimited,
able to,
yeah.
Right, we'll give them unlimited. So she was able to see what the lowest the customer was willing to take, what kind of bullshit they had to offer to make that an okay bargain, and it worked. So being able to read the customer, we just talked about reading the customer.
Yeah.
Being able to read the customer, and with the way she is in interviews where she can bullshit her way through anything, like, I can exactly see why they put her on hardware. Hey, we need to know what our people, what our gamers, what is the lowest thing that we can give them and still keep their $250 a year. And she's like, I got you.
Put glitter on the Xbox and charge them $600. Is that what you said? Is that what you said? Put glitter on the Xbox and give them one. That was her idea? Go in Aaron Greenberg's desk drawer and get the glitter out there.
Hey, all she wanted for Christmas as a kid was a glitter bedazzled Xbox 360, and now she made her own. That's all I'm saying.
Goodness. Now, you heard that when she came in, Phil Spencer and her did not get along very well. She has a sticker on her, a Post-it note that says, I'm not being paid to do what he says. I am being paid to do what he meant. And she got to go to HR. Phil Spencer took her to HR and said that her tendency to push the envelope and not let something go was new to them. That she was not letting things go, and she was pushing the envelope. And Phil said, "Oh no, you got to forget everything I said, Men in Black style, because I'm talking on my ass. So what I said on Monday is not the same thing I'm saying on Tuesday. That's not the same thing on Friday. And fuck if I'm going to say the same thing next month. So just forget about everything I said. That's what you're going to do."
That's a crazy quote.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah.
You would think pushing the envelope would be something a $1 trillion company would want to do to be the lead and compete in gaming. Instead, they said, "Oh no, pushing the envelope. No, don't flex. You just stay right here and let things go. Don't forget." And it's funny is that this interview came off of Phil Spencer's story time, where he was like, I didn't sign that game Guitar Hero. Like, all these failed things. And he's like, I don't hold any regrets. I don't hold any regrets. Like, I think I have him.
Great circle.
That's not him.
Where's the lambs?
That's not him either. He's like, I don't have any regrets. Like, I don't have anything. Like, I just move forward and be positive. And it's just like, Phil, you realize what you just said. Like, that is like not good news here. So their chemistry wasn't good. And now she wants to do what he meant was, which that's not good either. So now in this article, it said the Activision buyout, right? With the titles across Xbox, PlayStation, and phones, it helps Microsoft. But if Bond is going to pull off this transformation, she's going to have to navigate her division through some pain. Microsoft has already cut more than 2,650 jobs this year. A quarter of them announced in mid-September. These are part of industry-wide losses totaling 11,500. Its gaming unit is operating under a challenging set of revenue and profit goals, according to people familiar with Xbox's business who declined to be named while discussing private financial matters. All right. So they said that they are under challenging set of revenue. And guess what? We don't need a he said, she said type thing. Phil Spencer told you already. It's a business. I got to run a business. He's been telling you all year. That's been his theme. I can't wait for his signature and the new controls and be like, it's a business. I got to run a business. Like, that's his new line this year. That's his new tagline for the election year. I got to run a business. That's what he said. But yeah, man, they bit off more. Do you guys believe they bit off more than they can chew with this Activision thing? Yeah, Kofi, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
When I'm trying to grasp and go back in time through all the acquisitions they had. When it was first ZeniMax, Bethesda, I remember thinking, okay, maybe Xbox is going to be a different type of beast to compete against PlayStation because there's a lot of quality acquisitions in there. And I'll also say long term, perhaps some of the studios that Xbox has been working with will release better quality. I'll be dead honest. Gears of War E-Day, right? It's called E-Day. I am very excited to see that game do well, be quality,
yes.
Not Gears of War 5 and something beyond. So I do want to name some positives. But for all these other studios that they have brought in, managing them is very difficult, right? PlayStation has generally done a good job over the last 10 years. It doesn't mean they didn't make mistakes. We don't know what Media Molecule has been doing for the last...
Oh my God.
I don't know.
They completely missed the VR bandwagon too. Like, I can't believe they're not in that VR conversation with at least
Media Molecule is
oh my God. Yes, exactly.
I'm
Media
in shock.
Molecule somehow made a game where you can make anything you want, and they used a DualShock controller to do it. That's...
And they have nothing for the VR2.
For that.
Nothing for the VR2.
And there's no PS5. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. I'm sorry to be going that thing.
Nah,
so
we
look over at Xbox and we see Tango Studios, which we know is now acquired by another studio. We see Tango Studios win an award for whatever, best art direction, best music, best original IP. And then they get closed by Microsoft. That is a prime example of you took 10 plates of food and you started to eat one plate and you go, oh, and I realized the steak is still here and the potato's still here and there's a pizza over there and there's a cheesesteak in the back. And that's such a shame because we look at Microsoft as with all this money, and then as we go, we get clues as to how they spend less than PlayStation in certain spaces, like marketing. I'm sure, Jez.
Yes, in Europe, yeah. That whole thing.
Yeah, their marketing push and a lot of their ways of garnering new customer or fans is just not as aggressive as PlayStation. And I'm thinking, if you want people to play on mobile and to play on PC and to play on now smart TVs, you've got to be aggressive in marketing and telling people about these new IPs like Senua 2. So it's mind-boggling because there's so many different levels of growing a business. You did the acquisition part, but the managing and the growth of quality over time needs to be the priority now. When I think of streaming services, I know that it's hard to compare to Game Pass because the time of gameplay is different than watching a 2-hour movie. But I think of something like Disney Plus as more premium than a lot of competitors because they own so many classic IPs that have lasted, 70 years, right? Like, old Disney films. And Xbox can do that, but they really have struggled with it. It's so funny to think that Xbox is only like 5 years younger than PlayStation. And they have this stable of great history, but they haven't taken advantage of it. So now they've almost they've increased their IP ownership by like 60% and then bought Activision. But Activision didn't really have a lot of IPs that were active, right?
No.
They have a couple of things. What's that game that was a competitor to Infamous?
The Prototype.
Prototype, thank you. That's a game that I think fans would love to see be reinvented. And then there's Transformers. I know that IP was recently refreshed, so maybe they'll see a Transformers game. But all that potential takes gathering a team, that team having culture, them possibly mastering an engine, or maybe building a new engine. Xbox, all their money, maybe they could have a custom engine. And I don't see any of that happening yet. And if you could just, I hate to be against the consumer in this, but if you had those special IPs, you could charge these kind of high rates for Game Pass. People are like, well, I'm getting Game Pass because this new Transformers game is fire.
Exactly.
And I can't get it anywhere else. So massive potential, but right now, right? It just
that exclusivity at the end of that's the big deal. So somebody in the chat earlier had said all PlayStation IP going to PC is an L for Sony. And I started thinking back, and when Xbox started doing this bullshit, FAFO, we're on the Grindhouse.
Yep.
When they started doing this bullshit, all of us were like, yeah, that's stupid. That's going to kill your stuff. Ha ha, y'all are dumb. Y'all are over here saying, no, it's only going to be a few titles. It's not going to be day and date. It's not all this. And now, several years later, now we're the ones over here going, well, it's not going to be day and date. It's only a few select titles. And so if they want to go down this route and lose their exclusives, Sony's going to end up right where Xbox is, doing all this backpedaling, doing all this bullshit talking, doing all of this. Hey, we're still learning. We're trying to learn a new market. We're trying to learn how to do this. Like, it's going to cause problems. And that's what we've seen over at Xbox.
But I'm going to push back on you, Thrifty, on this one, because I understand that was the conversation, but I'm going to tell you the biggest issue that they had was they stopped making great games, or just stopped making games. Like, there was just years of nothing. And it was a combo, because I think if they kept the games, the franchises that people wanted to play, and they would just put it out there, I think they would have done all right. Maybe there would have even been a split between PC and console. But the way it died is when they stopped making what people wanted, and they just were years of just excuses and talking so much and having so many teases and, oh, join us next year, wait to E3, and then the E3 comes and it didn't happen, and then, oh, Halo's gonna change it, and the Halo gets delayed. Well, what's gonna fill in the spot for Halo? Nothing. Like, they had nothing. Like, there was not. It was just like, nope, the medium in February, enjoy.
New console and no games.
Nothing. Like, and that was coming off, and then that will never happen again. It happened in 22, and Phil even admitted it. Like, yo, we had a horrible year. They had Psychonauts, which came out, which Psychonauts 2. They had Pentiment, and they had just nothing. Like, it was another year. And then you look at it, what was last year? Last year was, I went over these. It's all friggin' Bethesda games. Like, Bethesda's the one that's carrying them around. What the hell happened to their 8 studios they bought in 2018? State of Decay 3. We should have been talking about State of Decay 4 by now. Like, that should have came out like a year and a half ago, State of Decay 3. They bought them in 2018. That should have been at least 2023. That game should have came out. Like, it's not, they never, first off, they were never that $70 game studio anyway. Like, State of Decay was an arcade game, an Xbox arcade game for $20. The other one wasn't even a full $60 game, I don't think, State of Decay, that's 2. I think it was like $40. They weren't making like these huge open world zombie games of like akin to like anything. Like they were kind of indie game. They were like that AA studio. The hell's taking them so long for State of Decay 3? Like what? Where are the studios? Compulsion Games finally showed their game, and that's slated possibly for next year. They bought them in 2018 after We Happy Few, We Happy None. Like, there you go. like what the hell are they doing? And then the same thing with Psychonauts 2. What is his next game that they're working on? They will like all these projects and all this other stuff. Like, it's been Bethesda that's been carrying them. And I'm showing this chart here with his annual reviews, right? There's revenues, I mean. And it's just like, look at how much, yes, they're making more money, but what's not showing is how much they had to spend for that extra $6 billion. Like, they had to spend all that money. Like, their revenues are going up, but their spending has went up more so. And that's where they're in this conundrum where they spent so much money and the margin of increase is not matching how much they spent. So they got to trim the fat. They got to cut some things. And that's what they've been doing, because they got to get that closer in alignment that, hey, we spent $70 billion, $80 billion in the last few years. And we are getting what, $6 billion extra? Thanks. Like, yeah, well, revenues are up, but dude, you spend an astronomical amount. And then you look at Activision, and Activision is a black hole, just like what Kofi said. They weren't writing a bunch of IP and games, things that funnel Game Pass. If you're running a subscription, you would want an Activision that's made about, 4 games, 3 games a year, or something like that, where you could be putting these contents into the thing. Activision they were a one-trick pony. They made one game, and you waited until that next year for the one game. They took all their studios and put it on one game. Like, they were the worst investment to buy for a subscription, because they do not make a lot of games to funnel your subscription. How do you keep people subscribed for a year when you just release one game in October? Like, that's a bad investment. Like, if I was running a subscription service, like, imagine if I was running a freaking buffet restaurant, and then one day a year, I'm just like, guys, I make the filet mignons. One day. Like, how am I going to get people to come to my restaurant for all the other time in between those days? Like, how do you run a subscription when you're just doing that, when you spent all that money for a company that just makes one game a year?
And then they released the mobile, and that didn't do
anything
great, right?
either. Yeah, they shut that. They let go from that thing as well. It's crazy. And they had, like, look at Activision. They weren't in the best of areas either. Big Booty Bobby was grabbing ass. They wanted to get his ass out of there. Like, Activision made 27% of its financial year revenues. Xbox grew 2% over the last year without Activision, and they grew 39% with Activision. Like, it's the haves and have-nots. And next year is going to be real telling as now you're going to be comparing apples to apples, because next year it's going to be with Activision versus with Activision. So that 39%, you may see another 4%, 5% increase or downfall, because now it's not going to be this jump, because last year they didn't have Activision and this year they do. So Activision did bring in a lot of percentages. The problem is that Xbox without Activision is nothing. And that's including the $7 billion they spent on Bethesda and ZeniMax. Like, all those studios they bought in 2018, all the ZeniMax acquisition is amounting to a 2% increase. Dude, that's insane. That does not return. But you talk about your return for Activision. What the hell is your return for ZeniMax? That was $7 billion. And they are not even making your business grow. You flatline and lose. That's a bad investment. You made two bad investments. And watch next year. Next year, when they're comparing with Activision and without, watch their growth. Their people are going to be like, what do you mean we went up 2%? Oh, yeah, well, last year we were up 39%. This year we're 40%. It's like, what do you mean we're only 40%? We only went up 1%, 2% from last year? Yeah, that's it. Because Activision's not growing. It's just going to be Call of Duty. Like, that's it. It's going to do the same shit that it always does, and they're just going to ride it out. And Microsoft just basically got them a friggin' anchor that's just going to, drag them down, because Activision's going to be a heavy-ass weight to carry every single year. And this year, they got to fudge these numbers because they do the haves and have-nots. Next year, they're not going to be able to do that. And that growth is not going to be that. It's going to be marginal. It may be single digits. Who the hell knows? Depends on how Call of Duty does. You got one shot at it. Kofi, Thrifty, you got one. This is it. This is like Phil Spencer's up at bat. Bottom of the ninth, he's down 5. He could try to tie the game up with a grand slam, bases loaded, and he got 2 swings left. And that's Call of Duty. He's waiting for that pitch right now. The glimmer in his eye, looking back in the crowd, he goes, I could get carried off this field. Like, this is their home run, just to try to break even, or maybe even make it worth the damn. But this is a one. You got one chance. You got once in a lifetime chance. Once in a lifetime. This is his once in a lifetime chance. Call of Duty and Game Pass and releasing it. Dude, they should have Phil Spencer dressed up like a goddamn ghost running around in the streets right now. For marketing, don't you think? I think they've been very subtle with the marketing.
I don't get it.
Phil Spencer should be knocking on everybody's door dressed up as friggin' Ghost, saying, please buy my game.
I think they're just hoping for the name. Like, is that it? Like, they're just hoping that the name is gonna, like, oh, hey, it's November, we get Call of Duty, right? Like, is that, like, that's what they're doing. They're actually giving it the same treatment that Sony did. Like, for Concord, you're hearing like little bits and pieces. You see a little article here and there. You see microtransaction stuff over here. This crowd's talking about that. Then you see the campaign crowd over here talking a little bit. But nothing really, like, Astrobot got a fucking train. Why is this game not getting a train? Why is this game not getting a building? Why is it not getting a real live virtual experience, like where you can go and like play in one of those like mall style virtual reality units where like you're actually like, why are they not doing some cool stuff?
People are like, oh, they can't talk about it in Game Pass. I don't give a shit where they talk about it, but I think the marketing for Call of Duty has been
talk about it.
Like you got 1 month, you're a month ago now, man. You should be marketing that thing now. Like there was more marketing for Activision when you were tied in court about it than now that you own the company, man. You have like that thing that Sony took from you, that marketing, the thing that they took from you that was so strong. You have it, and you're not flexing it all throughout the year, man. It's not like you have anything coming out. You got nothing. You had what? You just had fucking. You had these PC. What is it? The friggin' the Age of Empires. What the hell is it? Get the hell out of here. You Phil and Greenberg should be running through the streets right now with goddamn M16s and dressed up in guerrilla warfare, like marketing this game. Like they should have Phil in a paintball suit or something like that. Like everybody's saying Rudy. They're like, Rudy. Phil's like, I'm gonna do it. Put him in. Rudy. Phil, he's so little. They're gonna pull Phil Spencer in. That's it. Put him in the end. They put Rudy in at garbage time. They said the game's over. We lost. Put Rudy in. That's what Phil's like. They're like, oh, we lost everything. Phil, get out. Phil should be marketing the shit out of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And now he's going to go to Tokyo Game Show and talk about Call of Duty. Well, that's not the place to talk about Call of Duty, though. But they should.
He's going to be able to talk about a couple things there, though. Like we're not there yet. We're going to get there later.
We're going to get there soon. But like,
I have a couple predictions.
But even but Thrifty, even that stuff, you got Call of Duty. there should be nothing coming out. There should be nothing else coming out of this guy's mouth except buy Call of Duty. He was so excited about it.
Black Ops 6 Day 1 Game Pass.
Black Ops 6.
Black Ops 6.
People said I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, most people in this room have probably been used to spending $60-$70 on it every year. Now, if they're already subscribing to Game Pass,
and
good to go.
But it's a choice.
Oh, it's a choice, dude. It's a choice. It's good for them. It's good.
The whininess that he said that with.
Choice.
It's a choice. You don't.
But he's all hyped up. I love this quote so much because Ryan did give him a zoinks. He gave him a zoinks. He's like, zoinks? He basically gave it to him because he's like basically going, hyped him up, going like, you put Black Ops 6 in Game Pass. And Phil's like, yeah, they said I wasn't going to do it. And he's like, yeah, but you don't have to buy the game now. He's like, but it's a choice. He like whiny. He's like, it's a choice. He got all whiny and shit because he hyped them all up. And Phil's like, yeah, that's right. They said I wasn't going to do it. It's like, okay, great, Phil.
Black Ops 6 Day 1
He's all hyped up.
Black Ops 6
sweet, right?
Yeah.
Like,
some people said I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
he's all
people
hyped
in
up
this room
now.
have probably been used to spending $60-$70 on it every year. Now, if they're already subscribing to Game Pass,
and
good to go.
But it's a choice. Like, we didn't say to anybody, you have to subscribe to play. If you want to buy Black Ops, it's great. It's great for us. It's great for the developer. If you want to subscribe, it's also great. Like,
it's a choice, but it sounds like he wants you to buy it.
For nobody, but
Yeah.
it's great for nobody. Like
great for
he said,
nobody.
if you buy it, it's great for us. It's great for the developer.
Yeah.
It's great for if you want to get it through Game Pass, that's great.
Yeah,
Also.
exactly. Dude, he totally he wants you to buy the game because it's a business. Like he wants you to buy the game. Like he totally his voice is totally like, we want you to buy the game. Like especially the fact that he had to correct Ryan. He didn't when Ryan said that, he could have just said, "That's right, Ryan. They said I wasn't going to do it, but that's what I want to do. So if you have Game Pass, get Call of Duty. The most players ever he could have built off of that thing. Instead, he diminished. He's like, no, but it's a he had to explain it. And he's like, if you buy it, it's great for us. It's great for the devs, but you could also subscribe. Like it's always, but wait a second. You hyped up about putting it in Game Pass, saying that nobody was going to tell you to do that. And now it's comes as it's also great there too. What do you mean it's also great there too? That should be the creme de la creme, right? That's the whole reason why. You just said some people thought I wasn't going to do it. Well, Phil, you did it. Isn't that where you want people to go? No, but it's a choice. You could buy it. It's like totally like he totally wants people to. This is what they want. They want what Call of Duty wise. They want the game to sell like it would always sell. Because that's the money that they're banking on. Sell it on PlayStation, sell it on PC, even sell it on Xbox. And then they want the people in Game Pass to be additive to that. They don't want people not to buy and go to Game Pass, which is exactly what they're going to do. A lot of people, especially on Xbox, are probably going to do that. And probably people maybe on PC may do that, especially you got your hardcore, they're going to buy it regardless. But that level C, that level B tier, the ones that are like, I'm not sure about this year. I'm not sure about the unshores. They're gonna, and those might be the people that would buy to kind of add to the Call of Duty bandwagon. They may jump in because their friends jumped in. Those people now may not buy it and just jump on in the subscription to play with their friends until their friends drop off. Now that is going to hurt you because those are people that were traditionally buying the game, but they're just going to jump on while it's hot for the first week or two while their friends are on, and they could just milk it in Game Pass for a couple of weeks. And then once it kind of dies off or they had their fill, they drop off. Those were buying customers before. Those now are going to turn into subscription customers. And that's the problem. When you get to that second level, when the game really kind of ramps up, because you have your initial hardcore, they're going to buy it regardless. But when you get to that second level, the FOMO, what my friends playing, those people that would traditionally get pulled into and buy that stuff. For example, me, I bought Baldur's Gate because of the hype. I bought this game because I bought those games because I thought I was gonna oh man, this is the game. Elden Ring, the same thing. Like I was like, oh shit, everybody's playing this. I gotta play. Those people now that wouldn't traditionally get pulled in and buy it will now play it in Game Pass, and that's probably gonna tilt to those sales. What do you guys think? Do you think that may happen?
I don't know.
I don't.
You either have to have a PC or you have to have an Xbox, right? Like, in order for it to affect Game Pass, you have to have one of, or well, I mean, you have to you have to have a device that gets you to Game Pass.
Yeah.
So their main market, from everything that we know and everything that we've learned, is the PlayStation. So I don't really think they're
So
going
you
to
think
see
it was not
anything.
enough. All right, I got you.
I don't think it's going to matter. That's why it's staying multi-platform, right? Like if PlayStation didn't have enough of the market share for us to still matter to them, they would have yanked this bastard when the ink was drying. And they would have said, it is ours now. But the fact that they need us, PC Hawk, God love him, he's in the chat talking about how, I know, he is. Speaking of that, where's the other guy that hangs on Herman's nuts?
Wait, PC Hawk?
Yeah. I haven't seen True Virgil.
True Virgil.
Anyways.
I don't know where True Virgil is.
PC Hawk is the same guy who you listened from a while ago, right?
Yeah, it's PC.
Yeah. He used to be X Hawk. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be X Hawk. Okay.
He's called PC Meta X Hawk because he was hyping. He loves his Meta Quest too.
Yeah. So,
but I gave him that name though.
About...
I'm very honored that X Hawk took that name because I was calling PC Hawk and then he changed it and now that's it. So that was I named him that.
Shout out to you, man.
Shout out to PC X Hawk Meta Hawk.
But yeah, I mean, he was talking about how they're getting it this year, how they're doing all that stuff, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, well, PlayStation folks are going to have to buy it. What games do y'all have? Y'all don't have anything. All the same talking points that have been debunked. He's talking about Concord in there. And
well, if he wants to talk about Concord, you can rewind it to the beginning. Well, I'm not talking about Concord anymore.
What's really funny is that the Xbox crowd is touting that they have Call of Duty now. But so do we. So, like, they don't... They don't get anything. The player doesn't get anything more or less than what they got before. Does that make sense? Like, they're happy about corporate dollars being filtered back into a company that doesn't know how to fucking use them in the first place.
Thrifty made a good point. Last year, I feel like there was so much more hype for Activision not owning them and the legal stuff and the money spent and the interviews than actually this year when they actually owned Activision. The hype of Activision completely died down. Microsoft did not, and I think that has to do with two factors. One thing, Microsoft did not leverage owning Activision at all. They just threw Diablo in Game Pass after that horrible Xbox podcast, and then they went in there and pulled it out for their middle tier. And then, and now they I just think that them owning Activision has done nothing for them. They have not leveraged that at all in marketing at all, or in IP or anything. I don't even know, man. But the next thing is this 25th anniversary because like Sony had that 30th anniversary. Which, by the way, you saw that hardware, right?
Yeah.
Let me.
You talking about the more expensive model?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. I was saying this on my show on Wednesday. What do you think the fact that they made a 30th anniversary PlayStation Portal? What do you think about that? Before I get into the 25th anniversary of Xbox.
That means it is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. I loved it. It solidified it as part of the PlayStation family, which is what the PS5 Pro got announced into by Mark Cerny. It's going to add to the family.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'll let Kofi talk because I love this damn thing.
Yeah. Overall, I love Sony handhelds, and I've been not buying a ROG Ally or a Lenovo, which look like decent devices because I really want to stay with the PlayStation ecosystem. So when the Portal first came out, because it didn't have local, playing hardware, wasn't designed for local play, I was a little disappointed. But when I hear rumors that Sony may still invest in a, successor to the Vita, I am all ears. And so the Portal surviving and getting, staying as part of this PlayStation family means that my somewhat not alive hope is actually somewhat alive. We're undead. So, I'm here. And I'm excited for that. To be honest, I'm definitely getting suckered in with that whole 30th anniversary. I'm sure we'll get to that at some point, but it also just looks great. Yeah.
No, yeah, talk
I
about
love it.
what your impression of the 30th anniversary. What do you think that so are you going to get any of those 30th anniversary devices?
Yo, okay. Let me back up for a quick second. When the Pro was first announced, I loved the idea of playing Gran Turismo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure your listeners are obviously as sharp as they come, so they know, for example, like Gran Turismo 7 is going to run with ray tracing in game. And I'll be honest, I have been saving up to buy a very nice racing rig. So
Yeah.
when I see GT7, like, and that's right, because you're into this too. You have
Yep, I got
a
it. Yeah.
Thrustmaster, right?
The Thrustmaster.
Um,
Yeah, the 150 I got in that
and
play
so
seat.
I'm
I know
trying
we
to
always
get
talked
the
about that in that play seat thing.
yeah, we were. That's right, in the play seat. And I'm about to buy the Fanatec, which is
Nice.
it's as
Yes.
expensive
Yeah.
as the Pro. As expensive as the PS5 Pro. So I feel like I would be a hypocrite to say the Pro is too expensive when I'm about to buy a steering wheel that's really for only one
But
genre of
you
game.
want that experience, dude, and the fact
Right,
that and the
exactly.
thing is too is that and that's what you were saying earlier about exclusives. Like that's the thing. Like you're talking about like that's where the best of GT7. That's the best place to play it and the best fidelity with all the ray tracing, and that's the way it is. Like that's where I mean, like I was saying before, like these games going to PC, it's going to be hard to kind of sell people on up graphics and stuff like that if the game is already on PC. But if it's not there, that's when you could leverage the power going, this is the only place and the best place to play these games for the time being until we put them on PC. So like that's where that leverage
Yes.
is. And I think GT7 is the perfect example of something that's going to drive people to get that Pro to kind of play that game with all that stuff
And
turned on. And it's going to be
really quick,
incredible.
agreed. One other thing I wanted to say though, I was also a little bit disappointed, more than a little bit disappointed, that the disk drive was not attached to the console as a
A lot
complete
of people
package
were,
experience.
yeah. I was, yeah.
And I remember, I think I was on Mooch's cast, and somebody asked me, "Would you pay $100 more to have the disk drive as hardware, based on like literally connected to it and never requiring an internet connection?" And the truth is, yes, I probably would. I'd rather have it all together for one price, and I didn't like having the extra drive because, for example, I own GT7, but I only own it physical. And because I import from Japan, the physical market over there is really healthy. So I can always get older games. Like I'm always buying like I still buy Vita games. I bought like a lot of you know I bought like 20 Vita games in 2021. I think I bought 10 Vita games in 2022. 2023 was a little bit more like PS5, PS4 stuff. But because not only do they take care of their devices out there, there's just so many people reselling things. So um, I would be forced to buy that drive. I didn't buy
Yeah.
GT7 digitally, or I think the only
That's
digital
how I
first
bought the
party game I
drive just
have
to
is
have it.
Returnal. Right. And I get it.
But yeah.
I'm still as much of a fan that I, will eventually get this drive. So I'm pretty sure I was on Mooch's podcast
Mm-hmm.
maybe a couple weeks ago, pretty like happy about the Pro and the technology moving forward, but disappointed about that. Then I definitely got suckered in when I was scrolling on Twitter and I see this gray PlayStation 5. I go, what?
I
I
know.
need this thing in my life. Let me tell you something, Jez. The PlayStation 5 I own now, okay, it's the disc-based version. I sent the plates to a company called Lazamods. This, I guess, I'm giving them free promotion,
Yeah.
and they have the car paint quality that can match the PlayStation 1. So 2 years ago, no, I think it was December 2021, I customized my PlayStation 5 to have the PlayStation 1 gray, and I have the classic colored PlayStation logo too. I should send you actually, I have a picture that I put up on Twitter. I'll send it to you later.
Uh-huh.
So I loved it that much that I got my plates customized. But now when I see it here and I can get the one of 2,300, is it or something? Yeah, because it just launched on
It's
December
12, dude. It doesn't be
4th
so
or 3rd,
hard.
whatever.
Oh man, do you remember? And
Oh
I
my
made a
God,
mistake.
Ben,
I
I
called
need
it
it.
the 25th anniversary. It was the what was it? The 50 million or the 80 million console? What was the one that they sold the
Yeah.
PS4? The 80 million,
You're
the
correct.
500 million sold PlayStation,
Yes,
something like that.
500 million. And then there was a 20th anniversary one as well.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I remember that I got the
2014.
controller of the other one. I remember Frog went out there and got the he got actually that console. He bought it off of eBay on that one. But yeah, there's 12,300 of those. Those pros are going to be those are collector's
Oh my
items, dude.
gosh.
So,
It's going
but
to be
here's the
hard.
thing, and the reason why stuff like this works for Sony is because Sony sells the experience to us, right? Like, we want that color. We want that experience
And
of
they did
turning
the
on our
logo.
PS5. Right, they did the logo. They did everything. We want that as PlayStation gamers. And even with our games, the games they sell us are based on the experience. Look at how this feels, and look at how you interact with the world as you're controlling Aloy and going through the water, and how the water reacts to, like, they sell the experience in everything that they do, which is why a PS5 Pro makes all the sense in the world, even if it just a little bit better. There are going to be PS5 owners who are like, yeah, I want the best experience, hands down, period. Kofi, you just said you're spending an additional $700 to get a steering wheel, really cool steering
Right.
wheel, sure.
Like, I
but
would be
you
such a
want that
hypocrite to say I wouldn't
experience,
get the
right?
Pro. Right,
You
exactly.
want that
It's about the
experience.
Yeah, you want the best
and
experience.
you're willing to pay for it because that's how we've been trained. Like, I remember when JRPGs used to get released on the PlayStation as exclusives, and the first question was, how long is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long is the game? Because we wanted 100 hours. We wanted
Yeah, we
90
did.
hours because we wanted the experience.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, so that's why I think that was your question: is do we think this works and was it good? And that's why I think it works.
Yeah, I think it was great. But the fact that like what you said about the Portal, the fact that they turned that into a 30th anniversary does say something, that this is not like wasn't an experiment. Like, this thing is something that they're gonna probably iterate on and add to, or maybe even make it a prequel to something that may be more native, like a Vita or something like a Portal, Portal Plus or something like that. You could play some games natively on it. I don't know, but that might, or they may just always keep it as a window into the PlayStation. And that was the one thing that I'm hoping, waiting to hear about, is that what can the Pro do for the Portal? Like, is there anything special they put in there, or is it just going to be that kind of upscaling and better? It's going to run better on your PS5, so therefore it's going to look a little sharper, even though it's a 1080p screen. Is it going to, send that higher bit rate or whatever like that to the Portal? Like, it'll be nice to know. They alluded to something where it's going to enhance the VR with the super resolution and upper scaling, which will be great. Can't wait to see that. I want to see more of that. And we'll get into the predictions. But, there is, because Sony was celebrating their 30th anniversary and did what, like you just said, Thrifty, what the gamers want and what people expect, going back to that color. And another thing, too, is that they didn't cheap out in the sense of just doing the gray panels. They actually made the core of the PlayStation gray that out as well, which makes that it's like, oh, they're just selling very expensive panels now on the same box. No, they actually, they put the little markings in there, and then also they actually made the body of it gray as well, which is really cool because that makes the whole console unique in the 30th anniversary. And the packaging as well look exactly like the OG original PlayStation.
Yeah, that thing is a punch of nostalgia.
Oh, it is crazy. It is crazy. I'm definitely probably going to get that controller, because that'll probably be the only thing you can probably get your hands on, maybe, is the controller. They even went to hell. I said the only thing they missed out on was the headset. That was the only thing they missed out on, was the friggin' was the platinum headsets. They could have did those platinum headsets for the gray on there. I wish they would have done those. But because really they even went to the charging dock of what I think the prices of everything will be the same except for the Pro. I think the Pro probably going to be maybe, I don't know. I think the Pro, if that Pro is $700 and it's that anniversary edition, I doubt it, but because it has a count on it. I think the PS5 Slim is going to be the same price, like $500. I don't think it's going to be anything, maybe $50 more or something like that. But I think the Pro may have a higher price point, in the sense, maybe it might be $700, but it's going to be rare, so it may be a little more money, I think. I don't know, but I think everything's going to pretty much be the same. Maybe with $50 increase to stuff, the controller and stuff like that. I think the Slim is going to be the similar, but I do think the Pro, because it's a numbered item, it may be more. The Pro only comes in a bundle. Yeah, the only thing too, and the other thing I liked, back to what Thrifty was saying about the Pro. Kofi was saying about the Pro not having the disk drive. Yeah, I think that the fact that they have the disk drive as an option, but I thought that the console that they would be packaging would be kind of the ultimate, like the one that has everything, to stand and and the disk drive. But I could see the move that they made by making that disk drive optional. It's similar to the migration of what they did to PCs, where they stopped shipping laptops with disk drives and they said, go get an external one. And that's how they slowly kill off the medium. Less and less people buy the externals, and the externals just go in and become an appendix.
Right.
And then basically now you just transition everybody to digital. So that's what this is. And I think the moving forward is probably going to be the same thing. They'll probably ship a console without a disk drive, and then they'll say, oh, we'll have a disk drive accessory. Plus, they make money on the accessory. So, to do that. But I think days of maybe getting consoles that have disk drives built into them are going to be just the doodle bird like we've done with computers. Hell, I got this whole gaming tower right here. It doesn't have one slot for a disk drive in it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a bay for it anymore. Like these computers. These computers just have, I used to have double bays and two disks that you could put in and copy to one another and all that other stuff. Like they basically just made it external, and that's how they say, well, we're still going to support it, but we're not shipping with it. And then that's how you slowly kill it off. And, that's kind of what I guess this is the lead of with this thing. And the one thing, though, you got to say, and this is another thing here as we get into what this article here, the fact that they are selling a console without a disk drive, but the disk drive is external and optional that you can buy, I think is definitely a better approach than Microsoft is doing, where they're selling you a console with the disk drive built in and then selling you another whole ass console without the disk drive. Like, you want to buy a series, like, you know what I mean? If you have, and then there's your option. But the thing is, if you ever want to go all digital and stuff like that, like, it's nice to have. But the thing is that they're selling two whole ass consoles, where if you get a digital and decide you want to do discs, you don't have to go and buy a whole ass console with a disk drive in it. That's another $500-$600 to one with a disk drive. You could just buy an $80 accessory, slap it on, and it works. Where Microsoft is giving you, like, here's one with a disc, here's one without a disc, here's one that's black, here's one that's white with a disc. And it's just kind of like, if you ever want to make that transition, if you bought the digital and you want, like, if you had an S and you're like, hey, I want to get, like, I want to get you have a, well, I guess you have a digital S, and then you want a physical one, you got to go buy another X. Like, if you have an X and you want to buy another one. So, whereas if you just have an accessory, just slap it on. So maybe Microsoft makes an external one that you could just attach. That would make sense, because that's kind of the way to go to kind of wean out this physical media. But I agree. The fact that when we saw that high price and it was just like bare bones slim console, no anniversary stand or special pro version stand, and no disc, right. Like, it was just like bare bones $700. Like, whoa! I was like, yo, like, that's crazy. And I think to get away from the sticker shock,
competing in the same cost space, I don't think PlayStation would do that. I think PlayStation would be.
Oh, I agree. I think,
they would have been like, oh, well, we can't just come off as this. How do you call it?
But they have the
prices.
No, I agree. Like, I think that definitely they were more. But the thing is, too, is they've been, like I said before on the show, like, the thing is that both of them, this is the first generation that we've seen console prices go up and then instead of go down. Like, we were talking, like, $200 slims and $300, $400 pros and stuff. Like, the whole existence of a pro was to kind of like make the slims get lower in price to attract a new wave of budget customers in. Now they're like, oh, here's the slim, it's $350, it's more money. And Microsoft's like, here's one with 2 terabytes. We used to get consoles that had more memory for the same price. It used to be like, oh yeah, well, you know what, $500 was giving you 512. Now they're giving you 1 terabyte now for the same price. Like, you would be like, early adopters got screwed. But now it's like, if you an early adopter, you got the best deal of the century, because they're more money now. It's crazy. Like, early adopters, this is the only time that early adopters are like winning right now. It's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, for 500, I got a stand in my OG PlayStation. I had a stand that worked vertically and horizontally. It wasn't like a plastic toothpick. It was actually a real.
They taught me how to use a screw.
Yo, taught me how to use a screw. Right. I started a whole business, and then on top of that, then I had a disk drive in there. Like, it was expandable. Like, the sleeves came off. Like, it was, the OG PlayStation was a friggin' deal of the century right now. Ouch. Anyway, but speaking about anniversaries, we got an anniversary that Microsoft seems to be planning for, because when Sony did what people wanted, Bootleg Jez had to run out in the streets and go, Microsoft, let me get a quote from you about what your anniversary would look like, because they gotta be like, oh yeah, like it's still a thing. Like Microsoft can care less about it. And here you go, right here. On his case, he got the quote that he needed. We're building plans for a 25th anniversary of Halo and Xbox. Microsoft confirms in a new interview. We have such a rich heritage. You have to celebrate that. Oh, shit. So let's see. Where did they get this interview from? So they conducted an interview with Licensed Global Magazine, which revolved around the merchandising of Halo. Man, he went digging for this one. Dude, did he find ET when he found this quote? This is what they got to do. They got to say, we're keeping up with the Joneses. That's right, JC. Everybody hit that friggin' like button right now. Let's get to 150 likes. Let's go. Here we go. Bootleg Jez doing overtime here, trying to find the quote. He dug up. He found ET in the same thing. He said a new interview with Licensed Global Magazine, which revolved around the merchandising of Halo. During the interview, Xbox head of consumer products, John Friend, who this? I don't even know who that guy is.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
He said that Halo ranked in $1.8 billion in customer spending on merchandising. He said it was on merchandising. He said that where they did merchandising.
Come,
oh,
I'll show you.
Oh,
Open
shit.
up the store. Come, walk this way. Take a look. We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
There he goes, merchandising. John Friend. Let's see if I don't know if John's going to be there by the time they celebrate their 25th anniversary. The way things are going over at Xbox. Phil's like, who this? John Friend? Yeah, we don't need him anymore. He's nobody's friend here. And anyway, this guy goes elsewhere in the piece. John Friend confirmed, I think there's some AI bullshit. John Friend confirmed that Microsoft is planning some sort of 20th anniversary event for Xbox and Halo, which share a birthday. Xbox 25th anniversary would be fall November 15th, 2026. Oh.
I can go directly to Blackness.
Oh, shit. We're trying to hype up a show from 2 years from now? Oh, my God, please. The way things are going right now, John Friend and all his friends are going to be gone by the time this. It's going to be anniversary who? Anniversary who? But he dug in this. Xbox is in a bit of an odd place. Bootleg Jez and then he talks about this. Core Xbox fans, here we go. Core Xbox fans have been left concerned with expanding to competing platforms. If fewer people want to buy Xbox, it'll be even. So wait a second. Bootleg, I have a question. You wrote a whole article saying that they're concerned with the console business. Microsoft, fewer people going to buy Xbox hardware. The original Xbox suffered from a large library gap. The perception of Xbox community is sad. Sarah Bond revealed forwards compatibility. It's not doing well. But then in the title, it's like we're going to celebrate a celebration of Xbox 25 years in 2 years. Dude, the way you're sounding, it sounds like a fucking eulogy. It sounds like we're writing a eulogy now and we're going to celebrate some sort of celebration in 2026. Merchandising. It's 25 years. Please. You saw what they did at 20 years, right? Phil signed in there. When we all play, we all win. It had nothing to do with the legacy of Xbox at all. It had to do with the latest bullshit he was spewing on the news. Right? Phil signed the anniversary control of 20 years with when we all play, we all win. Signed by Phil Spencer. What the hell kind of legacy of Xbox is that? What was that what Master Chief said when he came out to Cortana? And he said, Cortana, I need a weapon. When we all play, we all win. Like, where was that quote from? Was that quote from goddamn Fable? Where the hell was that? Like, what is the legacy that Phil was celebrating with that kind of bullshit quote signed in your battery cover? I have no clue. I don't remember. Did they say that quote in Forza when you take off the line, everybody wins when we go across the finish line? I don't remember this heritage that Phil was celebrating with that bullshit quote of the year. That he later said, like, it was just one of those words that they used, he said. That was his 20th anniversary. So he must be brewing something up. I already alluded to this before even Bootleg even did the article. He probably heard my show and then said, oh, I got to do an article now. Because I told him, Phil's going to sign in the controller. They're all playing your games now, signed by Phil Spencer. There it is. Or we suck again. 25 years of sucking. There you go. That's the Phil Spencer quote right there. There was no legacy. I need a weapon. They should have had the guy who used... If Halo and Xbox celebrated 20-year anniversary, you should have had the guy that says, I need a weapon, the guy that does the quotes, who did the voice of Master Chief sign inside the controller. Not dopey-ass Phil. When we all play, we all win. I would open that up like, what the fuck is that? Who's this? I thought exclusive games. Halo was exclusive on Xbox. Why would you say when we all play, we all win? I was alluding to putting our games on PlayStation 4 years ago, if you missed that. Anyway, you guys hyped up for 25th. Let me get a read of the room here. Thrifty and Kofi, let me ask you a question.
You're my number one customer.
Do you think Xbox is going to make it to the 25th anniversary?
No.
You mean...
but I'm also really sad by the article you read because I drink Rockstars and I realized that the Rockstars have Halo, or not Halo, have Starfield on them. And I also eat the trolley bright crawlers that have Halo, that had Halo on them. You got a little code for like credit packs and Halo or whatnot. And so I didn't realize that by buying those, I was giving Microsoft fucking money.
Yeah, man. You're giving Phil Spencer money.
That hurts my heart that I actually did something to make them think Starfield and Halo were good IPs.
So they won't make it. Kofi, you think they'll make it?
God, no.
I don't think John Friend's going to make it, but I do think that maybe they'll have something. They'll have some sort of like candle ceremony.
I think there'll be a controller, maybe to celebrate this.
Of course, there'll be a controller.
There'll be another condom for their Xbox Series X to wrap around it.
What would Phil Spencer's quote? Let's go. Grinders, we're going to have a fun little session here before we move on to predictions. After I read the name of the Gaming Grindhouse, one of our great members here, sign my ass.
Great ass.
Sign my ass with the 100 seek. He goes, let's remember that Microsoft bought Halo. They didn't make it. It was known as an Apple event initially. Exactly. And Microsoft threw money at it. Bungie is an OG Mac studio. I remember playing Marathon on the Mac. That's damn right. They didn't even, that's another game that they just bought and they said, put it on Xbox. Exclusives matter. And that's what created Xbox. Totally there. That's right. That's right. Sign my ass with the facts.
Great ass.
Sign his ass. All right, Grinders. We're going to do something right now. Just for a little bit, we're going to play a little tune, and I want everybody to put what would the 25th anniversary quote be by Phil Spencer in the controller. Ready? Here's some thinking music. Everybody, Thrifty and Kofi, think about your quote. What will Phil Spencer's quote be at the 25th anniversary? Thinking music.
Sign me please, I will bend over and touch. My knees tell me it's better when we all play the make exclusive games and light to my face. Thank you.
Oh, keep them coming. These are funny. I see the people in there. Dude, Nick says he remembers. Dude, I'm still sharing profits with Alba. Nick, I sang the song Fernando. Alba said this sounded so good that I got to share my profits with them. So there you go. So if you want to go share profits with the Grindhouse and Alba, go listen to my Fernando acapella song that I sang in my ode to Fernando. It was a wonderful song. I might have to do another one someday, but Alba is we're sharing revenue with them on that one. All right, so here's some quotes here. Thrifty. First, let's get the Thrifty, did you think of your quote for the 25th anniversary?
Man, no, go to Kofi. I'm still trying to brainstorm over here.
I don't have a good one.
You don't.
That's right.
Come on. All right, I'm going to read the chat ones, and you guys think, but you got to be better than the chat. You got to get better than the chat because the chat ones are they're funny as hell.
Yeah, that's gonna have some fire,
dude. All right. Chicago Bulls 1984 says, we suck again. There you go. Jack Bass says, gaming for all. SN Kev says, slimy business deal. Michael Meridian says, we ain't making it for another 25 years. Wild Wolf says, it's a choice of being the controller.
I'm loud. That's really funny.
RPG88 says, I'm still learning. Signed by Phil. Oh, man. Nick says, Phil's quote, I get paid too much for this. That would be a good one. JC says,
25. It's coming.
It's coming. Well, just wait, maybe. Big Razzo, his quote says in the 25th anniversary would be, I'm just as surprised as you are. The Unknown says, let us compete. That will be his. Let's see. Oh, man, where'd they go? Dino Bravo says, buy a PC will be the quote in there. Oh, my goodness. Brian E says, the most powerful controller for PC. Don John Sean says, the quote would be, we can't out-console Sony and Nintendo. You want to be a controller? That's what it says. Oh, shit. PC Hawk has even thrown his hat in the ring. He says, Phil won't be there in 2 years. Oh, shit. Damn.
That's probably more true than any of these.
That would be the most true fact. Man, PC Hawk with the facts. Oh, shit.
But I got it now. I got it.
All right.
I even have what they're going to focus on.
Okay.
Like,
Thrifty, what's
all
your
of this
quote in their anniversary controller?
It's not even going to be the fucking quote. It's going to be the tagline. It's going to be Microsoft Gaming, Game Pass together, focusing on cloud saves and cross progression.
Oh, shit. That's like a paragraph.
Yeah, but you know how they have like Microsoft Game Pass? You know how the PlayStation, greatness awaits.
Yes.
Right? Microsoft Game Pass together.
Game Pass together. Oh, shit. All right. I think we got here with Xbox, we're still learning. There we go. Rob Gomez says, I'm more excited about the games we haven't delivered. That would be the quote inside the controller. So we're all convinced, though. I think everybody forgot this thing. We're all convinced that Microsoft will still be using AA batteries in 2026. Because that's what Phil signs it. He signs it inside the battery cover. So we're assuming that Microsoft will not go to lithium-ion batteries and will still stay with Radio Shack AA batteries and a controller in 2026.
They're
it's
rechargeable
like,
now.
I gotta put, even a freaking Amazon remote is getting like goddamn lithium batteries in this shit. Remotes have lithium batteries in them. Phil Spencer's still like, you know what? Get the batteries for the kids' toys and my Xbox controller. There you go. That's what you gotta do. It's like, I need more toys in my remote, and then like, and then my Xbox controller. God damn. Phil Spencer's still using AA's. Duracell deals. I think the quote should be, yep, we're still using AA's. Oh shit, Kofi, do you have the quote?
Yeah, the one I'm thinking it's not as funny. I'm sorry, but I want to take advantage of the misquote about Xbox ending in 2027 if they don't meet their numbers.
Oh,
so it would be something like, oh man, we're still gonna exit the business in 2 years. Something like this. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I would say he could be like, Satya says he's behind the business or something like that. It could be like another quote like that shit. Batteries are a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice.
Instead of if it's in 2026, you could always say, instead of there's always next year, there's only next year.
There's only next year. There you go.
I said my quote is that he's building off of what he wrote in there. When we all play, we all win. And then in 2026, inside it says they all playing your games now. That's it. That will be his quote. And he'll be like, and then he'll have a whole interview saying, I alluded to this quote back at the 20th anniversary. If you didn't see, I was saying that there were more people to play, and now they're all playing our games now. So there we go. Hold the line. Oh shit, RBG said hold the line. So now we're gonna come to hold the line. We're gonna go on. The line was hold the
Stephen
dotted
Orban.
line.
Stephen Orban said Nintendo is still laughing at us. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That is a good one.
Funny.
That is a good one. That is a good one. So, oh man, now I wanted to get into the. We want to get into. I don't want to keep everybody here super long. I don't want to keep the guest here too long. It's not me going on for 4 hours. But what I wanted to do, we'll get to the predictions. But one thing I just wanted to put up there is that I put up this article as we're talking about quotes and stuff like that. This article that said Xbox Game Pass users threatened to cancel their subscription after the worst month in Game Pass history. People went berserk on this one. I got 150 likes, 147 likes. People going wild. People were arguing and beating each other up in the chat, triggered, eating popcorn. People were going wild here. I don't even know what happened in the conversation, but it was a wild time. But I put up the article here because this is where it was just in my Google feed, and I was reading it, and it just basically said Xbox Game Pass users threatened to cancel their subscription, worst one ever. And what they were talking about was this. Where is it? It says the latest selection of games was the Frostpunk, which was PC only. Age of Mythology Retold, which was PC only, which I thought it was also Xbox. Riders Republic and Wargroove 2. These are hardly headlining games. 2 of them are PC only, and 3 of them are strategy games, a fairly niche genre. Meanwhile, the final day of the last month, Atomic Heart left, followed by Payday 3, which I'm sure nobody's sad to see leave, and Slime Rancher 2, which has been in there for decades. I don't know why people are upset about that leaving. And in the middle of the month, that's not all. 10 more games are leaving before the end of the month, including Gotham Knights, Loop Hero, Walking Dead, Valheim, and Warhammer 40K. This means September, it will lost 16 games and adding 7, which none of them have been added to the standard tier of the subscription service. As you would expect, people at Game Pass are very upset, especially on console, quite unhappy, threatening to cancel it. Here are the quotes from these esteemed users. Yeah, this shit ain't worth it anymore. I'm seriously close to canceling my subscription, writes a subscriber on Reddit. Another quote from another person, quote, yikes, haven't really enjoyed Game Pass lately. Thank God for Mafia, because if it wasn't been a while since I personally have been excited for any games coming. Adds a second subscriber. A third subscriber says, quote, worst month in the history of Game Pass. I didn't care in the slightest for any of those titles. And even if I did, that with all this strategy RTS games, like this month had zero variety. And they have been sitting on that Activision Blizzard stash for too long. So those were some angry subscribers there. These freaking ads on this page, holy shit, all over the place. And then, and that was the article that everybody went bonkers about that I tweeted out. Some angry people there. But what I'm going to just show is the image here. Let me see. Where the hell is that Reddit post where people are just going ape shit over here? I don't know what took them this 1 month, but this is the thing that triggered them. Look, this is the official news for Xbox Game Pass. On console, they just increased the price to $20 a month for day one games. They showed also Game Pass Standard, which is $15 a month, $16 a month, and they pulled out all the day one games over the last year and a half. Starfield, Forza, they pulled them all out. And they put them under here. Microsoft has created a shitstorm right now in Game Pass. It is a shitstorm. It is a disaster. And no, don't let me say it. We know who's going to say it.
It was a disaster, Ryan.
A disaster.
It was
a train.
It was a disaster, Ryan.
Disaster.
It was
a train.
It was
because
a disaster,
now Microsoft,
Ryan.
who couldn't even handle one service, now has a convoluted subscription tiered system. Because if you look now, these new announcements, you have Wargroove, which says Ultimate and PC, console, PC, cloud. Now I have Aria, Ultimate and PC Game Pass, just on PC. Ultimate and PC Game Pass, Frostpunk 2, only on PC. So, if you're an Xbox Standard owner, what's coming to you? Is that a separate announcement? Is that another tier that Microsoft now has to maintain? Because these announcements don't affect them. So now Microsoft has a whole another type of discussion that they need to have now. So, and now one game on console, it's coming, delayed for consoles. Just like Skitty Sidelines too. I paid the people. On the bright side, yeah, extremely poor for console players who are paying more money for this stuff. So now it's $20 a month, and you're getting less games come to the console and more to PC, who pay less for Game Pass Ultimate on there. So there it is. What the fuck? Do we lose Darktide, Ace Attorney trilogy? Like, they have a whole bunch of issues right now with how to keep the message of Game Pass alive. And that's another thing, just to bring it back on that Call of Duty stuff. Call of Duty now is only playable with the Ultimate tier in Game Pass. Like, it's no more like $17 a month they get in Call of Duty. Dude, it's $20 a month to play Call of Duty. And yeah, and like I said, this is what they're offering there. Like, they should have, like, this is not good. And then also, what are they doing with the standard Game Pass? How are you going to maintain the standard Game Pass subscribers who don't get day one games? Where's their announcement? All they got is that they just took out all the games from last year and this year in day one. They took out Diablo, they took out Forza, they took out Starfield, they took all these games that they released. They took them all away. Even the Call of Duty they just put in there, Modern Warfare 3, they took that out. So the standard $16 a month, those people are getting screwed too. They're not even part of this conversation. But these are the people, the premium tier, getting this. And if you're a premium tier on console, paying the most and getting less. So a lot of people were ticked off. A lot of people in the Twitter and stuff like that in the conversation were like, "Yeah, I'm canceling it. This is it." And then they got rid of the ambassadors program as well, which people were getting rewards and shit like that to get Game Pass. So like the whole freebie stuff, people are going to have to come to play, and they're going to have to pay now. So that's what they're going to have to do. But yeah, this is the thing that kind of triggered a lot of people. So, it is. It's the truth. It's the truth. And Microsoft has to maintain this stuff. Like, what do you think? Like, how do you maintain all these services? Like, they got to kind of like communicate this better. They can't just say, come into Game Pass. Guys, you have 3 different tiers out there. You got Core, Standard, and Ultimate.
And I remember, so my best friend is diehard Xbox. We're polar opposites in this specific space. But I remember when there were rumors that there may be an additional tier that may or may not be for mobile. I remember him throwing up his arms. He's like, this is just too much. And he's really into understanding at least what's an advantage for the consumer. But at that point, your average consumer is just not paying that much attention. Nobody's excited to get the Game Pass mobile tier. I just don't think that resonates or is marketed for or has enough consistent fans. And we've seen this in the mobile space, which we thought was going to kill consoles 10 years ago, just can't maintain a fan base. They're only there for their one game, or they might play Bejeweled and then they're out.
Yeah.
And so, back again, looking at this image, it's funny because I actually like the idea of playing Wargroove. I've seen that, it's a competitor to that Nintendo title that I'm forgetting. I haven't played it, but like from a games perspective, I'm like, oh, that's a cool game that I wish was on PlayStation. But for it to be the highlight for people on console when the other two aren't, that's a stab to the gut. $20 a month. What are you doing?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
And then of course, we know that Xbox is supposed to have a rhythm with some games that should come out every quarter, right? One AAA game every quarter. Isn't that their mantra?
Yeah.
We know that
Flight Sim. I think Flight Sim's the one that they're saving up
Flight
for
Sim,
now, which is an update.
And then one game got delayed until next year. Avowed, right? Avowed got delayed until next
February,
right? So
Janky Jones comes out December. Janky Jones.
You said, Janky Jones.
Janky Jones comes out December.
Right. I understand that some of these studios are starting, and maybe there's some rhythm. I don't see that here. Here was the main criticism I wanted to have though. Their relationship with Japanese publishers, it just needs to be better. Okay,
yeah.
The support from Asia for PlayStation makes a year like this year very healthy for PlayStation gamers, right? We have things. We have the partnership with Shift Up. We have the partnership with Square Enix, and then Capcom always has things that just aren't on Xbox, but they're not planned exclusives. Or like somebody like me, I'm into Falcom. Falcom doesn't publish anything on Xbox, and then we were getting some other JRPGs finally on Xbox, like Shin Megami Tensei, Metaphor. That's just happening. So to fill in for some of the gaps that we're looking at, like this image, having more Japanese published games in your ecosystem is going to help you.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what he talks about this week. I don't know.
That's true. And so TGS is your opportunity. But you know what I predict? I don't predict much positivity. I don't think I will give the respect that Sega and Xbox have had a much healthier relationship. It reminds me of the original Xbox days playing Phantasy Star Online on my Xbox. Oh, those are good days.
Oh yeah,
those were good days. And so it is nice to see Metaphor. I'll be honest, being in the JRPG space, I've had multiple people come to me who are more casual and own an Xbox and tell me they loved Game Pass for getting Persona 3. They're like, "Oh, Kofi, did you know that Persona 3 is
they really,
I'm
yeah,
on
they
Game
really
Pass
went to
for
town
that."
with Personas,
I was like,
yeah.
okay. I was like, all right, that is impact, at least from what I'm
Yeah.
seeing. But it needs to be a little more consistent.
Oh,
And
that's the thing, man. They kind of do. They just show
Yeah.
like a little bit, like, oh yeah, we did it, and then that's it. They don't go extra. They don't kind of
Right.
create anything new, and then you see what they did with the other thing. But talking about this week.
So
good.
sorry, I was going to say. So what they can do on the Game Pass thing to make it less convoluted is, do it like PlayStation does. Like they already tried to copy it anyways. Do it like PlayStation does, where they release 2 separate articles, right, throughout the month. Heck, they could even do, because they offer it so many different places now, they need to have 3 different lines of communication.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Like, and so, I mean, that's really it, though. Like, that's all I was going to add to what Kofi said, was like, just give that communication. They don't shut up about their stuff anyways, so use it for actual.
But they don't have
good.
like games with gold. Like they don't even do games with gold type thing. Like they don't even have like monthly routine.
Do they not?
No, they don't do it anymore. They got Xbox Live, which is now Game Pass Core. That has a set of
I thought Core was getting stuff added to it.
No, very rarely it gets. No, it's like a set of like 15 or 20 games that just you get. They may have a game roll out here or there, but that's kind of it almost is like kin to like, remember what the PlayStation PSN was like? You had like the legacy games, like that the PlayStation Core games that you got when you got PS5, and you got all those carryover games. Remember that collection?
Oh yeah.
It's similar to something like that. Like there's like a collection of games that
but for a monthly fee.
Yeah, but you're paying for online, basically.
Slimy as shit.
Yeah, you're paying $11 a month, or $60 or $75 or I think it's $80 now. It's $75 or $80 a year, but you're getting online and you get those access to those core games, those like 15 or 20 games. That's it. There's no kind of monthly updates and stuff like that. If there is, they're very subtle in kind of updating that. It doesn't get that refreshed every month. They may have a once in a while they'll add something or remove something. Then you got your standard one, which just started in September. That one is the one they just nuded. They gutted the shit out of that one. They went in and they said no more day one games, and they went backwards. And they took everything out that they put in day one all the way back to Starfield, and said you don't get access to Starfield, you don't have access to Forza, you don't have access to Diablo, even Modern Warfare 3 that we just put in there. So they went backwards and pulled out all the big games they put in there day one. I think they left Redfall as here you go. They left you Redfall.
No.
Everything else they gutted. They took out 40 games, and it was the big 40 games that they put in there over the last year and a half. They went backwards. It wasn't forward. It wasn't like, hey, everything moving forward is not going to be day one anymore, but you get to keep everything that's been in here. Dude, they went in there and gutted it for a year and a half, removed 40 games just overnight. So people just lost that, and that's just standard pass now. Now everything is in Ultimate. So Ultimate now is basically what it always was, and it's up now to $20. So these announcements here for the games coming, these are only here to Ultimate, because these are day one games, but they're not for the standard one. The standard one gets games over a year, they said. Just like Janky Jones. Janky Jones is going to go to PC before it may even hit the standard Game Pass, because they said it's at least a year before a game on day one will come to that tier. So it will probably go to PlayStation first before it even shows up in the standard Game Pass thing. They basically destroyed that middle tier. Like, I don't even know it's basically, it's not fun anymore. It's just like old ass games and then hand-me-downs, where all the day ones, the new stuff, that's what Ultimate. And the best place to get it is on PC, because that's where it is. A PC has $11 a month, and you get all the stuff that you get. But you got to remember, Ultimate on console does have a lot more games in it, because not all of them are on PC. So you do get a lot more games on Ultimate, but the problem is that it's $20 a month on there. But yeah, that's the thing. It's very confusing, and they got to find some way to keep that middle tier exciting. And that's where Sony, they come out, they got their games of gold, their PlayStation Network games that everybody gets who pays for online, which those things are pretty damn high quality, as they've been doing always well with that, pretty good solid months. And then they have their subscription announcement, which comes to, hey, premium, what is it? The middle row, the tier gets this, and then the classic games and streaming games and trials get this one. And that's how they do their announcements. Microsoft has to sort this out. They used to just put out there, coming to Game Pass, and then you just have a Game Pass list. And if you look at it, some games are just going to PC, and it's like, oh, this doesn't even apply to me. But you're using them as things, because if you really just show what's coming to consoles, this would have been one image. It wouldn't look very enticing. Oh, I got to subscribe. Look, they're giving one game out. Oh, no, let's put 3 games in there. And then if you look at the subtext, oh, yeah, 2 of them are not even coming to the console. So as a console gamer looking at this has no value to it. It's one game. But Microsoft fluffs it all up by throwing, and they've been doing this. They throw like games that just went to cloud. They're like, oh, yeah, put it back in there because it's going to cloud now. And it's like just to add fluff to it all, to make it look like they're adding a bunch of games to the service, but the game's already there. It's just going to a new device, but they add it to the chart. They need a better way of doing it. But enough of them. Let's talk to the people that are dropping some news. Let's talk about the state of play predictions here. So let's get to this. And we're going to do state of play and Tokyo Game Show predictions. So today, PlayStation announced the state of play tomorrow. All right, hit that like button, guys. Oh, let me get these 2 super chats here. Nassim with the 12 months, he goes, Phil needs to recoup that $80 billion he spent. Yep, he's been telling us all year. Yeah, it's the business. And True Virgil.
I can go directly to Blackness.
There he is, nuts himself. VIP member for 17 months. He loves it so much here. He's coddled by the Gaming Grindhouse and the Warm Fires. He goes, fact number 1, Microsoft makes better custom consoles than Sony. Well, I would say they used to. Sony's been getting better at it, but I agree. Sony used to just put stickers on a console. Now I think Sony's getting better at it, definitely with the Celebration ones. So that fact may be not as strong anymore. Fact number 2, he says they have the money to make them. You ponies are delusional. Phil loves custom Xboxes. True Virgil delivering the fallacies.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Phil makes those special Xboxes that you can only buy by have him sign your ass, or doing something where you give Phil your address, your DNA, your goddamn blood type, and then maybe you win one. That's how Phil sells his Xboxes. The only one he sold for an astronomical amount of $700 was his SpongeBob one. That's it. So let's go to the state of play. Returns tomorrow. Now, first off, it's a state of play. And it is at, now, this is the one thing I always notice, the times. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is like, there's got to be shit to see here. All right? Because this is, they're not making it at high noon. They're not putting in the crack ass in the morning. This is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're going to make sure everybody's home. They finish their dinners and they get tuned in for some gaming goodness. So I think there's definitely going to be something here. But let's see what they say first. State of Play is back tomorrow. They're going to have more than 20 upcoming PS5 and PSVR2 games from studios around the world. It's going to be a 30-plus minute show, and it'll be YouTube and Twitch. And that's all they say. You got people going out there. First off, I like that it says VR2. We don't want to forget about the VR2. Doesn't say anything about the Pro. It just says PS5. So let's go around the nest and see what do we think we're going to see tomorrow. Let's see what this play button just takes you right to the thing. So who wants to go first? As what do we may see?
I'm going to give it to you, Thrifty.
Thrifty on the hot seat.
Oh, Lord. Okay,
Thrifty,
so
what
there's
are we
actually a
seeing
lot
tomorrow?
of things. There's a lot of things I'm really interested in. So what we're seeing tomorrow for the state of play, I think we get Venom. I do not think. I think that Sony is going to stay one. I think we get Venom, but I think we also get Venom this year.
This year?
I think Sony is going to give it to us this year. You know, you mentioned earlier in the show that Bethesda is carrying Xbox to this generation, and to be honest, we have a studio, they just do it better than Bethesda, that has been carrying PlayStation, and that is Insomniac. So
yes, you got facts there.
It wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility for them to drop it. Also, it would still coincide with what Herman said about not having a mainline or a big tentpole release this year because it's a DLC, not a full game. So that's my bold prediction number one. I also think that we get a Ghost of Tsushima, or we get one of the other major 5 studios that they have. We get some sort of announcement from them. And I'm not including Death Stranding because we already know that that's going to be at Tokyo Game Show.
All right.
So that's pretty it. That's it. That's
so
all I
think,
want. I
so
want Venom.
So you want Venom. So you think they're going to do Venom and they're going to do something with Ghost of Tsushima.
And they're going to do a shit
and
ton
you think
of fluff.
Venom this year. Like there is the movie coming, but you think it's coming this year's DLC?
I think the DLC will be coming this year. Like, because when you think and when you go back to the reasons why everybody thinks that there's a Venom DLC anyways, it's because the voice actor had said, hey, all these extra lines got done. Yeah. So they have the work done. So they have it sounds like they have that done. They have the mocap done. Like the hard part's finished. Now you're just creating the levels, I say that, guys, I'm not a developer. I don't know if that's the hard part or not. But like you have a major portion of the game done already because it's a DLC. And it wouldn't surprise me if they got it done. It's Insomniac. Like,
oh man,
they're the Mark Cerny of developers. So yeah, that's mine for that show.
Okay. So Kofi, what do you think about the state of play? What's tomorrow?
I do think some of the things. I think it's pretty obvious that Horizon's going to be mentioned there.
Lego Horizon. Yep.
Oh, Lego Horizon. I'm thinking Horizon Remastered.
Oh, that too. That'll probably be there too. I agree. Yeah.
It's going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if Days Gone is there. I know that there's really no evidence that suggests Days Gone might be there.
Those two remasters.
But I think something that would be exciting, to your point about having a more primetime spot. It might sound a little out of left field, but I think we're going to see a preview of Housemarque's new game. And I think it's going to be, an original IP. I do think it's going to be a roguelike, but I think it's going to have more in-depth levels of exploration than Returnal. I think it's going to be more ambitious than Returnal, but I don't think it's going to come out until maybe next year. It could be as late as fall, but I think having like a 10-month window for a new Housemarque game is reasonable. So I think that would be something that would make me pretty excited. I'll be honest, I'm not very good at Returnal, but I love the developer. Roguelikes always kick me into the dirt. I'm more of a Souls-like person, but I will buy their game and I will try to beat their game. So I think that would be the biggest highlight. I don't know of anything else that, like, when I think of games that recently got announced that could have been in the state of play, if we're talking about support of the Japanese space, it could have been Freedom Wars. Freedom Wars, for people who might not know, was this PlayStation Vita game that kind of was in the Monster Hunter, Uprising, or like God Eater, where it's like a co-op multiplayer game. This was beloved on the PlayStation Vita, and now PlayStation has given the publishing rights over to, I think, Bandai Namco, so it's coming out everywhere. But I think it was a moment for PlayStation gamers to realize that their game is going to now be 4K 60. The online will be supported. That's a huge one. Another game that was only on PlayStation way back on PlayStation 3, another action JRPG, was a Tales of game called Tales of, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it.
Graces.
Thank you, Tales of Graces F. Now we know that the original Tales of Graces was only on Wii, but the future version had a whole new third campaign that was only on PS3. So that title was announced, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks, like last month. Those are two titles that could have been in a state of play if we're talking about getting PlayStation gamers excited for titles that are coming back, even if that title is going everywhere. Nintendo does it all the time, right? Nintendo advertises a lot of games in their directs that are going everywhere.
Yeah, but Nintendo
fans will see that.
This is what I'm saying.
The only reason
I'm gonna say Nintendo does a lot of their directs, stuff that's kind of, they do a couple that are out, but they do a lot of stuff that's close, and that's where I think the state of play is gonna focus more on what's coming out in the next few months to the end of the year, and not so much as like something in the future. They may allude to something with Death Stranding 2, since may be something with Tokyo Game Show. But my prediction is that I think this is going to be more focused on the recent stuff. However, with Thrifty saying if that Venom is slated for this year, this Venom DLC, which it is a DLC, it could be something that doesn't need 6 month to a year announcement. It's just like, Venom DLC, and have that kind of tie into when the Pro is released on November 7th. Because guess what? That's right. There's really nothing. It's in between Call of Duty, and Call of Duty has done its thing. And November 7th, and have something kind of like Venom DLC around there, similar to what they did with a Miles Morales type thing. And then we just got to play Astrobot earlier rather than having a launch. Maybe that Venom does come out in November with the Pro around that time, that the Venom DLC, and they could just kind of bundle it with Spider-Man 2 and kind of get that thing shot up. But I do think that this thing is going to be more of what's coming out. So I think we're getting a lot of kind of the indie games that we already heard of too, that may be getting release dates. Some of the VR games, like I'm sure the Aliens game will probably have their release date. That's probably coming out sometime in October. Maybe show some of that VR stuff. But I do think it's going to be for the next announcement. Plus, I think that's where those remasters are going to be there, because those probably going to be coming out soon.
I was about to ask, do you think we're going to see Horizon ZDR there?
Yeah, I think the remasters are probably going to be there, because they'll probably be coming out probably sometime between now and December. So I think there's going to be like a next, like October, November, December release, or November and December. So I think Horizon remake may be there. I do think that definitely the Lego is going to be there. I think the Lego gets another show there. I'm really not thinking. See, this is the problem that I have with this, is that I would think there needs to be something at least tied to the Pro, considering that pre-orders open up in the next couple of days. Like, you would be really not reading the room if you put out a dump truck of a state of play with indies and shit like that, and then try to sell a 700 premium advanced console without having anything kind of there. I think that would be totally dumb on their part.
To your point, for example, we know that Cory Barlog is working on something. If his something is ready to show, it would be an amazing moment, I think. I mean,
definitely. Like, I think, but I do think that it would not do them any favors to announce stuff for next year, especially with the Game Awards in December. Maybe leave that for Keeley's, or there's rumors that they may do something in December. Who the hell knows? But I don't think them announcing something now for next year is going to do anything. I think they need to announce something more for like what's coming around the Pro. And I think a Venom DLC might be that would be perfect. It's small. It's not a sequel to something, because they said there's no sequels to big games. So it's not a Ghost of Tsushima 2 dropping in November, but it's small. It's something that doesn't need a lot of movement. And I predicted this back in early this year. They move with their friggin' movies. Like, if Venom movies coming out in October and November, a Venom DLC, regardless if the movie sucks or not, would be smart move to kind of have the movie and the game come together. Just like the Uncharted collection, when the Uncharted movie, they kind of go in tandem with shit. The remaster of Last of Us with the TV show, they kind of mirror that shit. So with the Venom movie coming out, having a Venom DLC, you know, a whole side story. We already played as Venom, so it's not a surprise. Just do more of it in the city, doing his own missions and fighting a boss as Carnage or something like that. It doesn't need that kind of leeway. You're at your anniversary around Spider-Man came around out this time, right? Spider-Man 2. When did Spider-Man 2 come out? Is it about a year?
It'll be a year if it releases November, because I think it came out like October.
Yeah. So
didn't it come out October?
So I think that's the surprise. Like I think that will be the end. As to what the whole content of the State of Play is, I don't think it's going to be, you know, tons of crazy announcements from their first party for next year. Even though I thought this is what they needed to do. The fact that they said VR games and we're close to and it's going to be broadcast. I don't know. Like, you know, I'm getting this read that this is not going to be the show that they need to kind of sell the Pro on. And I think that's going to be a mistake. And we'll find out tomorrow, you know, how they do it. But I do think they could save kind of like a reason for the Pro if they say a Venom game is coming out around the time November 7th. That's perfect of something coming out, because from their first party, there's really nothing else coming out except for you know, Lego Horizon thing. Right. So like, you know, a Venom game for the holiday, the movie's there, Spider-Man 2 anniversary, and you got the console. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So I'm along with Thrifty there that, you know, I think that's going to be the thing that kind of saves the State of Play. I don't know if it's going to have a bunch of bangers. Like I think Corey Balrog's game, things like that. I think they're going to save that. That will be better for something next year. I think maybe Death Stranding 2. I do think they need to have something in there that's graphically pleasing, that shows that, hey, running on, maybe they'll show a new gameplay demo to Death Stranding 2. Because again, they're not doing a show on Thursday to stay on the Tokyo Game Show. They're not doing a show. They have a booth. Right. And we saw what's in their booth. Yeah, so they're not doing a show. This is basically their show. So it will probably be things that are in their booth. And if I can recall, where was the Sony's booth? Let me see. Sony's TGS booth. I'll tell you right now what the State Play is going to be. I'll tell you, we only need to predict. Sony's TGS booth, because that's exactly what they're gonna have. Where is it?
I know their booth has like
there we go.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be set up on some PlayStation Pros.
I'll read it right here. So this is what we're gonna see, right? Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, Infinity Nikki, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Metaphor, Monster Hunter Wilds, Sonic X Shadows Generations. And then they got Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, special announcement, and the spotlight is Silent Hill 2. They're going to have. So I'm thinking, so in their show, they're going to have on the 26th, they're going to be having Astrobot Play, Let's Play Indie Games with Shuhei. On the 28th, they're going to have Silent Hill 2, Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero, and Metaphor. And then on the 29th, they're going to have PlayStation Presents Death Stranding on the stage, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Dynasty Warriors Origins. So I think something of those may be in that show, even though we saw that shit already. We saw that stuff already. I think that's what it's going to be.
So let me ask this then, because I know that we keep saying it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2. It's not. It can't be. But here's the problem that we're getting into now as we keep having these shows without any big announcements. The studios are getting longer into the development process just by the sheer fact that we're continuing moving through the year and moving through the months, right? Like eventually they have to show some of these titles.
They gotta, and I agree. And Patience flipping out. He's like, they gotta show something, and I agree. I think
they have to.
The saving grace of this thing may be the Venom stuff, maybe a DLC for Spider-Man.
No, I'm saying it shouldn't be far-fetched to think that after 4 years and a few months that we get a trailer for Ghost of Tsushima 2, and that little dude comes out in May or April.
Maybe.
I think so. Especially if
the more
Pro
I'm hearing you talk, Jez, the more I'm like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Kofi.
You think?
I would say the only thing, like, I kind of agree with Jez that this window of time would be nice to have something, for Pro users to take advantage of. When even though it's 10 years ago, I'll acknowledge that the PS4 Pro advertised Horizon Zero Dawn months out as well, right? Horizon Zero Dawn came out, I think, in like March or February of the following year, but the Pro had come out like that November/December, so it gave people a chance to buy the console, upgrade, and then their new IP was in hand, or sequel. So I believe it's possible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the more I'm hearing Jez talk about the games coming and that it's not an actual show at TGS and all this other stuff, like, this is it. And, well, outside of the Game Awards.
The timing with the, it's so over, we're so back, the pattern that we've been all laughing at on Twitter, would definitely have as we're so back if right before TGS at Tsushima 2 was announced. I mean, that would be the news. It would take over.
Right. Like, are any of their booths not marked off at TGS? Because, like, if there's a booth not marked, like, and not dog-eared that, hey, this is what this booth is for.
I think they showed Death Stranding running on the PS5 Pro, like a new demo.
Yeah,
of
that is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think they do as their game. Like, as for their first-party stuff, I think, the farthest I think they're going to do is if they tease a Ghost of Tsushima 2, that'd be great. I would believe me. Any of this stuff will be wonderful. I'm just not. I don't trust them, dude. I don't trust them. Their state of plays have been kind of like head scratches. Like, what the hell is this shit? And then all of a sudden they'll like put like something at the end or something like that. They'll kind of save it, or they may not. And I just think their state of plays have been kind of like, if they're not focused on one game, they've been very kind of, hey, here's some updates to some of the games. There's some little stuff that you may know. There's some little VR passion project. It's little stuff. And you're just like, okay. And I just think that I don't think now's the time to do it. I agree. I think they need to kind of leverage something with the PS5 Pro. And if they show a bunch of like, kind of like, their Japanese partners and their that kind of stuff, and they just use this as a sort of a more of a Japanese centric state of play, I don't think that does them any favors for the Pro. I think they need to show something that's either launching around the Pro time, like the Spider-Man DLC, or Death Stranding 2 running on a Pro would be something to allude to it. Like, you cannot have this thing so close to the PS5 Pro pre-release on the 26th and not have kind of like up like things like, I think they need to do something with it. So I'm hoping that they do, but like, they've been kind of missing it. So we'll see. Like, I'm not saying like, hey, they never put on a show. Like, this is Herman's show. Let's see. This is Herman's. Like, maybe
this is Herman's.
This is going to be Herman. We will know immediately when we see the buttons. If those buttons, if he's wearing a turtleneck, we're in deep shit. But if they're at least 2 buttons undone, it's going to be good. And also the mess up of Concord. He should have his whole shirt wide open, ripped open with the chest hairs and the gold chains. We should be expecting that because, we need Herman needs to come with those buttons. Need to be missing. That's all I'm saying. We need a few buttons. And you'll hear at the
PlayStation. First words need to be, I'm sorry.
Let it be at the PlayStation, and I'll tell you about the games, the quality games. And now here I'm gonna do another button right here because we're gonna have something special for you. This is my show now. Software's king. And the PS5 Pro is going to be incredible. That's what he's going to be like. And he's going to be like, come out there and be like, and now I have to show you Venom coming from our first party studios. And he's like, and at the end, he just rips open his shirt, fully unbuttoned. That's right, Robert Lawrence. I want him stripped down to the goddamn fucking boxes. He better be that. That's the kind of quality show that I'm expecting from Herman Holtz. He better come out like,
what?
He comes out, he turns around, he's like, I didn't know that I was bathing, and here I am with my shorts and no shirt on. But that's the kind of show it's going to be. My chest hairs are oozing machismo.
As he turns around to walk off stage, it's the Ghost of Tsushima 2 logo on the back, and that's the reveal.
Herman got to be in the freaking shower with the steam coming around them, and he's just peeking out. He's like, I didn't know you were there. Now let me tell you about this wonderful showcase that I got to tell you. He's like, by the way, I want Herman coming out out of the shower with a goddamn towel wrapped around them. That's the kind of show that needs to happen. Herman hiding under the waterfalls. That's right. He needs to come out there in the towel like, I didn't see you there. This was at 3 o'clock in my bath time. He's like, and then I want him in a steam room coming out there, Herman Holtz. If I see anybody, and this is the other thing. So we're going to, I just got off the yacht. Now, this is the other thing that I've been tagging too. So we got to kind of get a hint. So this is kind of stuff that we're going to go down here. So we got some lurkers here. Here we go. So Shawnee Benson,
You're my number one customer.
did a little hot. Who is Shawnee Benson? Let's click on the name. Director of Global Head of Third Party Portfolio. Dun, dun, dun. So third party will be there. Then who else did we get there? Let's see. Who else? This guy did eyeballs. Christian Stevenson. What does he do? VP, Head of Second and Third Party Content Ventures and Strategic Initiatives. All right, grinders. So I see these people with eyeballs and hearts. And these cause, I don't know if that gives you a little bit of fair warning there, but I'm going to hit my Siren Hill song, my sirens. All right. We got a guy with eyeballs here talking about the state of play. He's head of second and third party content. Then we got the other lady over here, Shawnee Benson, who's the global head of third party. All right. So we got a couple of freeloaders here. This don't sound like the first party Herman Holtz in a bath towel showcase. It sounds like we can get a lot of fluff. I don't mean in a good way. So then we also have here, shout out to Hot 97, not Hot 97, Hip Hop Gamer. He says, here we go, PlayStation State of Play tomorrow. This will be part 1 of people said they will not get a pro making videos when they're going to pick it up. Death Stranding 2 and a special message from Marvel is all I'm saying.
It's coming.
Part 2 you'll see at the Game Awards this year. Also, limited edition, this controller is everything. Astrobot is crazy. So, Hip Hop Gamer is saying Death Stranding 2 and a special message from Marvel. Piggybacked by third-party stuff. So, and then part 2 will be at the Game Awards. And that's where you show your Ghost of Tsushima 2 running on a pro. Jeff Keighley's pants are going to drop. His grapes are going to come out of his mouth. He's going to be like, blub, blub, blub. He's going to pop out his grapes. And then we get the belly button fluff. Exactly. So that's so those are the predictions there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Thrifty, are you streaming it? Or no?
No, I'll be at work. Sadly, it's gonna because it's 3 o'clock Eastern, isn't it?
No,
so
it's
2 o'clock my time.
6 o'clock.
This is what yeah, dude. That's what I mean. The time
I might say, fuck around and find out. And go ahead and stream. If I can get off work in time, absolutely.
There's something cooking. That's what I'm saying. Like if this was like, yo, the waffles and Sony in the morning, I'm like, oh yeah, they're hiding shit. But this is 6 o'clock, like on East Coast time. They want people to see this. Somebody says, well, James Rucker says Wolverine is special message. Oh shit, it may be Wolverine. Wolverine, Deadpool. No. I don't know. I think that's Spider-Man. It's got to be Spider. It's got to be. Venom's coming out, man. They got to do something with Venom. Maybe the DLC roadmap. Maybe starting with Venom in November. And then and then the Blue Beetle, whatever the Beetle shit is, in February, kind of having that.
If you remember, just from the leaks, there's a multiplayer game in the works.
Oh, that they need to put out
for Spider-Man.
Yeah, it got canceled apparently. Oh shit! Don't do Spider-Man the service game. Not now. No, I would not announce any Spider-Man service multiplayer shit at all. I say Venom or bust. You do not go out there, even though that Spider-Man thing, I think it's a real game and it's probably come out another time. Not after Concord. You do not announce any service shit. at all. You keep
I'm
that.
saying it'll be a mode of the Venom DLC. Like that's it. Calm it down. It'll just be a mode. We're not.
Oh no.
You don't even need to make an account for it.
No,
it's okay.
You don't even need to make an account.
I would stay miles away from anything service-based multiplayer costume shit. Yeah, it's Venom. It's Venom or bust. I don't know. Spider-Man multiplayer. I would. I don't know. Not now.
Like Web of Shadows. Come on.
Not now. I would say you could have done that another time. Not now. Not post Concord.
Give it a year. Give it a couple.
You got to give Concord some room. You got that shit has to be forgotten about. You cannot bring back Spider-Man the service game. No Spider-Man the service game. Not now. I thought it was canceled. I believe that it's not canceled. I think it was on hold. Yeah, it was canceled supposedly.
I know I think they said the full game is canceled, but that's as soon as everybody said,
would have been cool as hell.
Put it in as a game mode like Legends for Ghost of Tsushima.
That does work.
Yes, I agree with that. That would be
give it the game mode.
Yeah, as DLC to Spider-Man 2. As like a Spider-Man 2 like Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, because then you can actually grow it. And people forget that the ending, everybody's focused on Venom, but there was another character at the ending of Spider-Man 2 that got introduced that they could do like
they said
like
it was canceled.
The roadmap.
The
roadmap.
I think like a DLC.
The DLC's coming out.
Yeah, like a Spider-Man 2 roadmap, like they did with the first game. Like they had where it's like DLC 1, DLC Black Cat DLC, then this DLC, then the Hammerhead DLC, and kind of like what the roadmap for Spider-Man is. And then that last DLC comes out when the movie comes out, the Into the Spider-Verse. And that's where they dropped the DLC. That's why I thought they were going to save the multiplayer for when the Spider-Verse comes out, because that's when you have all the multiverse Spider-Man running around the city. But I thought I thought they said it was canceled, but I said here when I went the road, I was like, this game's not canceled. This game's, I bet you it's on hold for another day. But the thing is like, I wouldn't announce it on after Concord right now. I would not announce solely a Spider-Man game, but I would say a multiplayer. I would say, yes, definitely as a DLC, or in addition to the Venom, as part of the Venom, or like whatever Spider-Man 2 roadmap of DLC that's coming out. But I do think they may do a roadmap of Spider-Man 2. It comes out to the year anniversary. Plus, they could drop maybe one of those DLCs or one of those content things for the roadmap around the launch of the PS5 Pro. So there's something new to play with the Pro, because that's the point. That's where this thing needs to be a success. We need to, I would consider this a state of play successful if something is announced here that is new related to the Pro or around when the Pro comes out. If they completely just gloss over November and they say the Pro is our thing, I think that's not going to be good. This show needs to say, hey, here's a little something to play new on your new Pro when you get it. That's what I'm looking for. And that's what I was saying as a prediction for this whole thing. When they did, Cerny did the breakdown, then they did the anniversary edition. This show needs to be, and there's something new that you could play, whether it be DLC of Venom, maybe a Venom story, or something with your Pro in November. And that's where this show needs to, that's where I would say the show will be good if there's something for that. If they completely gloss over the Pro releasing and just remind people and just show a bunch of like, you know, typical like Tokyo Game Show, indie games, some of this, some reminders of games that they announced, then it's not going to be a very effective show and they misread the room. But they need to have something, either it's a one more thing or something there to align themselves with like, yo, here is something new to experience with your high-end console. It better be up-res as a Pro mode, Spider-Man Pro mode coming, with this DLC. Not just Spider-Man Pro mode. I want Spider-Man Pro mode with new content, because I played Spider-Man already. So that's what it is. So we'll see. We'll be looking forward. Maybe I'll stream it. Maybe not. Depends. Keep locked here to Game Grinders. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We might go live, or I might do a post show, or I might just do one Wednesday afternoon. We'll see. Depends on my schedule and what's going down. But I'll definitely be watching it. But whether I be streaming it, we will see. And then as for Tokyo Game Show, we know that Phil can't keep his mouth shut. there. So like, he did his thing, and
No, you like to look at yourself on television, you sick son of a bitch. So look at this.
Phil loves to see himself on TV. Michael Meridian says, I'm going to be disappointed then. Okay. Well, if I'm disappointed, you know where to find me. You know where I am if I'm disappointed, because I will just tell you right now.
We'll be here.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now that if they misread the room again and they think they could come out with some hokey dokey, hey, remind us here, show us shit we've seen already, and not allude to something for the pro when it around it, dude, then that's overconfident Sony. They're just selling it based off a name and then basically telling you to buy the system to play old games better. And who did that before that we used to not like? Or we still don't like, but who did that? So we got to keep it a buck here. Like, you know what I mean? If they're going to sell this thing based on like, oh, go play Ratchet again. Now with pro mode, you suck my ass. Let's go. You got cooking shit? Let me see what you're cooking. Enough is enough. It's a friggin' restaurant. It's time to eat. So you got to start. I think they got to open. They got to give us a peek. They got to give something. Oh, don't say to December. Uh-oh, Michael. Don't let me do it. Are we doing this?
Wait, just wait.
Oh, shit. I never thought it. Hermanus.
But I can't say when all our games need help. Bootleg Studios helping.
Oh, man. Don't tell me Hermanus got us hoping for December now. Dude, we can't be hoping for December. Nah, this is 2 days before the pre-orders open for the friggin' Pro. Listen, Emma, they could do the friggin' show in December. That's fine. But the Pro is pre-ordered in 2 days. If you want to make people pre-order, you better have some little nugget. And I'm not talking about a whole full-blown showcase Herman bare balls and everything. Cock in the wind. I'm not talking that kind of Herman show. Maybe that's December show. I'm talking about just a couple of buttons. He needs to show something a little enticing to pre-order. December's. Oh, shit. December, no. We can't end of the anniversary celebration. And watch Sony do, yeah, we have an anniversary. We showed you the console. Look, let me ask you a question, Grinders. Did anybody go, oh, Sony, why are you showing us these new consoles? The 30th anniversary is not, December's the celebration. Was anybody yelling then?
That's an amazing point.
Was anybody screaming at the Hitokiness or whatever on the friggin' screen going, we don't want it. It's not the celebration. December's the celebration. We don't want it. No. People were rubbing their nipples, cutting the screen with their nipples. With all the grays, I'm pre-ordering 2 and 5 of them. Nobody was saying wait till December for the celebration. It was like, shit, when can I pre-order this shit? Nipples slicing screens, knocking over things. Come on now. We need a little something. Herman got to do a couple of buttons. We got to see something. The Pro is a pre-order in 2 days. If you just gloss over that and say, oh, $700, yeah, by the way. Come on now. Holy shit. Nobody was yelling, oh, no, Sony, don't show us the console. I'm waiting for December's part. December? We're all going to be playing Indiana Jones. Janky Jones is going to rule December. What are you talking about?
It's coming.
Janky Jones got December. Get people excited for the holidays. No, I agree. Do a December show, but that can't be an excuse that they don't acknowledge or show a little bit of something tomorrow. They got to show a little bit. I'm not talking about a Herman Holtz nudist show. But he's straight nude, showing it all. I'm telling you, they got to show a little bit of something.
I'm telling you, I've now fully convinced myself it's Ghost 2. I can't get off of that now.
I don't think they're going to.
I think announcement comes tomorrow, and full trailer comes either at TGS, or not TGS, the Game Awards, or the 30th anniversary.
There's got to be something. I don't know, Ghost.
Hey, what about the God of War DLC?
Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Look,
or there was talk of
the
the
anniversary is the 3rd. Oh shit! Indiana Jones is the same day as the anniversary.
That's funny.
Janky Jones, he'd be coming out
what
janky
about,
and all.
The spin-off game that they said that there might be for God of War Ragnarok, the Atreus spin-off.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I
don't know.
They got some smaller titles.
All I'm seeing liking is the third-party people. Did you see anybody from Insomniac like the thing? I don't know. I missed it. I saw Shawnee Benson, who's the global third-party person. All right, so she's the third-party person. She gave the heart, and then the other guy gave the eyeballs, and he's the second and third-party content venture strategic initiatives. Let's see what he tweeted about. They hype it up Plucky Square.
GTA 6?
That's going to be its own weekend.
No, GTA 6 now.
That's going to be...
This guy tweeted about... I don't know, man. Listen.
Like I said, I'm good for a few little
left tomorrow.
Here and there.
Dude, it could go left tomorrow. Second party... I'm not saying there's going to be shit games at the show. There got to be some good games. I want good games at the show. But I'm just saying, like, we can't be, like, December. Like, I'm sure, hey, if there's something December, awesome. But we can't be doing that shit. Like, wait till December. Wait till that show. And then Jeff Keighley comes out and smuggling grapes and it's not there. I don't know, man. I'm just saying they got to show a little bit of something to get people a little hyped for the Pro. That's what I'm saying. Something new. Yeah. Some DLC, something coming. Like, that's not a lot to ask for. And if they miss that entirely... Dude, that's shame on them. They misread the room. Like, if they go, well, no, this is our Tokyo show. There's a bunch of Nami-Namis, Udi-Udis, and then some little passion projects and a new partner we never heard of, skateboard Odi-Udi. I'm sorry. Like, you can't do a whole show like that. Like, and you want people to go pre-order this thing in 2 days. Come on. They need something. So that's all I'm saying is there needs to be something else. This can't just be like our Japanese partner show with like, and I'm saying not that they're bad games, but something a little new that comes there. And I would love for it to be Spider-Man. I love Venom, so that'll be win for me. But I think there should be something. No, I mean, I don't know. Some hokey dokey shit. Who the hell knows what they're gonna do? I can't have hokey dokey shit. Then there'll be Phil Spencer with all this hokey dokey shit here. I don't know. So that's that. And then the Phil got his thing. So everybody, they're rumoring that Phil is going to all the way hype it up Tokyo Game Show because he's going to announce that old ass Final Fantasy game may come to Xbox. Talk about depressing. Xbox did their little Tokyo Game Show we're going. And now Microsoft's now. See, now this is when you know that Phil Spencer is not going to be talking any kind of shit. Look at their times. Microsoft begins their broadcast at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Impatient. I got one grinder. Thank you, Impatient. There's those. I'm telling. They need something. How can all of us sitting in this room hit that like button and go like they don't need to show anything for the Pro? Come on now. We're just crossing our fingers because we're hoping that Concord 2 don't show up at this fucking show. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping that Concord Reborn, Concord Remastered. They took it back with a fucking remaster.
Concord 2.
Yeah, Concord 2, the game we should have launched.
Realm Reborn.
Dude, that's what everybody's hoping. They're like, oh shit, Concord Remastered. Lucci Sky in the house. There we go. I'm slowly migrating to grinders. That's it. Slowly, they understand. They just everybody's nervous. I understand. I'm nervous too because I don't know what Sony is going to show up. Is it Herman in the turtleneck that love Concord, or is it Herman full ass split, 3 buttons undone? I don't know who's going to show up. It's a flip of a coin. Sony, I don't know. Is it Concord Sony or is it Astrobot Sony? We don't know. They showed us a chink in their armor. Does it become a crack up the ass? I don't know. But we're talking about Microsoft now. This is a full ass. We know this is going to be shit. We know this is going to be. We know Microsoft's coming with their.
And their little goo gaga.
That's right.
My little baby, little Fisher Price plastic toy.
Oh shit! What happened to Microsoft? There we go. We know Phil's coming. Phil's coming all out. What else? What's Phil's? Oh man, I just missed it. Oh my god, I'm deleting shit. I deleted shit. What the hell's going on here? There we go. There we go again. All right, now here we go. Xbox is going again. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now there's 6 a.m. in the morning. Phil Spencer's showing up 6 a.m. in the morning to spread the bullshit. You got to make sure you wake up bright and early to smell his morning shit after the coffee. That's why he wants you there at 6 a.m. to watch his Goo Goo Gaga shit. So this is Microsoft's, their show. And what do you think they're going to show at that Tokyo Game Show? Let's just do one more round of predictions. Tokyo Game Show, what do you think?
I don't think there's going to be... I'm trying to think if there's going to be any big surprises. I think most of them got... I'll say this. I think whatever... So Level 5, famous for making Ghibli Studio-inspired titles. They do have 2 new titles that they're going to announce. I honestly think one of them might be... I don't know. I think there's going to be something new for Megaton Musashi. I don't know if anybody knows Megaton Musashi. It's like...
Is this from Phil Spencer? He's doing
Megaton. Oh, you're talking about specifically for Xbox.
Yeah, I'm talking about Xbox. No.
See,
Xbox. I know you're talking about real Japanese games. Phil's not getting those games.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about real Japanese games. Phil's lucky he gets a goddamn... he's not going to get any of that shit.
Shoot, yeah, from Xbox.
Phil Spencer's talking... You got to talk about Japanese games from a decade ago. Those are the ones that Phil's shopping for.
No, but you're right.
They skipped Xbox.
Yeah, you're right.
In the
you were mentioning a
90s.
Final Fantasy game getting ported. I don't... There's going to be... Okay, so you know what? You know what's going to get advertised over there? The new Atelier game. Okay, for people who don't know, Gust has... I don't think they've ever published a title on Xbox before their new Atelier. I think it's Yumiya. And so I think showing that on an Xbox stage or under an Xbox moniker is probably their promotion. But other than that, I don't know who else is going to show something exclusive. There's so many developers that have come out.
The only news that will even acknowledge in this thing, if he says anything with the word Final Fantasy, anything, that's it. If he don't say anything Final Fantasy, and not any Final Fantasy of meaning, not no Final Fantasy of like, hey, Final Fantasy 2 coming here from like a decade ago, like remastered. No, it has to be either Final Fantasy 16, it has to be or the Final Fantasy. They don't even have the what is it? The remakes of all those other ones. What was that collection called? The
Pixel Remasters.
The Pixel Remaster. They don't even have that either. So it's got to be the Pixel Remaster 16 or 7. If it's none of those, nobody wants to hear from Phil at 6 a.m. in the morning.
So there is rumors right now that Square Enix is supposed to be announcing the FF7 remake, which that's not happening. But there is a rumor for Final Fantasy 13 getting a remaster, all 3 games in the trilogy getting remastered. That was from 4chan though, so please, for God's sake, don't believe that. But there is that rumor. I think personally they're going to be getting Final Fantasy 16. I just have this weird feeling that they're going to be getting it. There is an announcement for it, which there's not really a reason for there to be an announcement for it. And it is on the stage. It's on Square Enix's stage. So, like, kind of strange. But, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is also getting ones. I don't think they're getting that, though, like I already said. I think it's Final Fantasy 16, or it's going to be... It could be the Pixel Remasters. And the only reason I say that is because there's the physical release of those coming out for... Square. I don't think Square would ever put those in Game Pass. It would surprise the absolute shit out of me if they put those in Game Pass. So I have the physical pre-ordered, and those are being released on October 7th for the PS4 and the Xbox. Or I'm sorry, for the PS4 and the Switch. So announcing that, hey, these are also coming to the Xbox, what a great way for the Xbox losers to put up or shut up. If those sell well, then they have a reason to say, hey, cool, you actually want to be part of this franchise, of this ecosystem. Now we'll give you some of the others. And so those are two different routes that they can take. Either 16 or the 16 or the Pixel remaster.
I'm thinking 16 maybe, since it did the PC route, and probably coming next year. Obviously, what they're announcing now will probably be 16 for next year, early next year, something like that, and then probably the Pixel remasters, which I think probably those are the two. I don't think Final Fantasy VII is going to Xbox anytime until the trilogy comes out and seen.
Yes.
All three of them have been on PlayStation. Then I think then they'll finally make it over to Xbox, but they're not going to ride that out, especially with the Pro coming out. Like I mentioned, the Pro stuff, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth running as nice as it is on the Pro is a big seller for that thing, especially if you didn't finish the game, and that game came out this year. So a lot of people didn't finish it, myself included. So definitely that being there would be a good enticement for people to get the Pro. So I don't think they'll announce anything kind of that nature until the trilogy comes out. Then that's right, Lucci. Let's hit the 200. Yo, thank you so much. We're at 153, dude. If we have more people, hit that like button. We'll try to get to 200 as we finish our predictions here. And then I think Final Fantasy. I think the Pixel remaster is kind of like a tip. I think that is more of a Microsoft announcement. That is something that is small. It's Final Fantasy. It shows some promise that they're bringing these games there. I think that's probably the one that I think more is going to be there. The Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered as this kind of like goodwill, and maybe it opens up alluding to Final Fantasy 16. Bootleg already kind of pulled back on the whole Final Fantasy big announcements at this show, and then saying sometime in the future you'll hear it, but not at this show. So he went from typical kind of, everything's going to be at the show, Final Fantasy is going to be a big thing, to now it's like, it may be just like, it may not, it's not going to be here. So I do think that that's the only thing that's going to be there, is that there'll be some Pixel remastered Final Fantasy, and possibly maybe Phil paid $1 billion to get it in Game Pass. Who the hell knows? But again, I just don't like, for me, as if I was wearing for the Xbox thing, if I was like, as an Xbox fan listening to this shit, I would be like, dude, stop. Like, this is like we went backwards. Like, now we're here begging for old ass games coming to Xbox because they just skipped the platform. And it's just like, you're never going to be a leader. You're never going to be confident in your product by getting hand-me-downs when you were getting them day and date in the previous generation. Something's wrong. Now you're here waiting for games to be ported over for years coming to your platform. And it's just like, if you really cared about those games, you wouldn't wait that long anyway for them. So I really think that these moves are really just kind of just to appease whoever's left. But I really don't think that these are big initiatives to going there. And the fact that they shut down their only Japanese studio, where they leveraged them 2 years ago when Phil had Shinge on. I always say his name wrong. Everybody, yo, I got Kofi here. Is it Shinge Mikami? Mikami?
Shinji Mikami.
Shinji. There you go. I called him Shinge. And everybody yelled at me in the chat for a goddamn half hour. I called him Shinge. And he said Shinji. Shit, I wasn't even close. No wonder they yelled at me for a fucking half hour. Yeah, they got me. So there you go. I had to bring my translator in here to translate Italian Japanese. That's it. I called him Shinji, and they're like, "What the hell, Shinge?" They're fucking yelling at me. I got Kofi. I'm just gonna I know what? I should just clip Kofi saying it, and then I'll just like play it when Kofi's like, I'll just be like, and that's his name. Just say Mikami, man. That's the unknown. See, unknown. The unknown. Don't start it. It's too late now. I don't want to hear a half hour people yelling at me. And then I got Kofi.
You want me to say it one more time? You said
yes. Oh wait. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get. Hold on.
Our Xbox.
No, wait. Hold shit.
Avowed. Juicy 33.
All my keys are taken up.
Good quotes.
Dude, all my keys are taken up.
Do I get to be immortalized?
I'm trying to immortalize you.
Board, hell yeah!
I can't. All my things are taken up. What's this one?
Our Xbox console players are as high this year as they've ever been.
Amazing.
Oh
So
shit, we got
I
the
look
Phil
at-
lie there. We can't do that one. Let me see. I'm gonna see which one's free. Which one's open? Is this one open?
Great circle of
Nope, that one's not open. Let me see if this one's
The
open.
revolver is full.
Let me see.
Where's the lamb?
Come on, man.
I just need a...
This is the lamb.
Where's the lamb sauce?
They're all taken, Kofi. I'm trying to figure out which one we can use here. I know what we're gonna do.
Avowed is juicy.
That one's too good. Don't get rid of that.
That one's too good. You want me to get rid of that one? Or maybe this one.
I can go directly to black nuts.
Damn, Kofi, there's no more room on the grinds
No,
board
you can't
here.
get rid of the black nuts. You
No,
can't do that.
you can't get rid of the black nuts. What about this one?
Our commitment to our Xbox customers is you're going to get the opportunity to buy or subscribe to the game. We're going to support the game on other screens. And you are going to see more of our games on more platforms. And we just see that as a benefit.
Yeah, we got Phil there. Phil's all over the
Great
soundboard.
circle of
We got our bitches there. Who's this one?
I'll get you more pumpkin. I'll ram it right up your fucking ass. Would you like it whole or diced?
Nope, that has to.
That has to stay. No, you can't get rid. We got to get Kofi on here. I'm gonna. The avowed one I could always do. We can get Kofi. Hold on, Kofi. Let's see if I can record you. I'm gonna clear it. The juicy one we'll do again. Actually, we got a replacement for the avowed as juicy frames. We got a new one. We got the juicy songs. I'll give you the juicy songs.
Juicy.
All right.
Juicy, dirty flames.
We got the juicy song there. So let's get Kofi saying it. Hold on. Let me record. And then I'll hit it. All right, Kofi, say it now.
Shinji Mikami.
Let's see if I get Kofi on here.
Shinji Mikami.
There we go. I got Kofi on here. There we go. Now we'll just do it until the end of the week.
There you go.
We got. So anyway,
genius,
so Phil Spencer used the Tokyo Game Show 2 years ago to interview
Shinji Mikami.
and then see, I don't have to say it anymore. To interview him, and now he tossed the guy on the side. So now they don't have any game studios. So now I don't know where
Shinji Mikami
is right now. So there we go.
You're
So
my number one customer.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kofi, for proper pronunciation. I don't have to get yelled at. That saved me a half hour of everybody trolling my ass, yelling at me and the thing. So we got perfect Japanese dialect in here. I might have to get Kofi. I have to get a new sound area for Kofi here, but this one I could do quick here. So we got it right there. No more. See, no more Shinjis. We got it. We got it right now here. No more. I didn't even know now. I don't know what it is now. It's a Shinge, a Shinji. I don't. Hold on.
Shinji Mikami.
Shinji Mikami. There it is. Thank you very much, Kofi. I
I've always
appreciate
called him
it.
Shinji or Shinji. Yeah, I've always made a E sound.
Thrifty? Nope. I got the proper pronunciation.
No. I'm not saying you are wrong or have the wrong pronunciation. I'm saying I've been wrong.
Shinji Mikami. Shinji Mikami.
It is properly pronounced here. There we go. Thank you very much. No more getting yelled at. Now I got it right. No more Shenge. Perfect. See? JC's happy. Everybody's happy. See, look, the unknown, he's fucking rolling right now. He's so happy right now. See? Quality content here. Who else gets creative Kofi crap shit on the soundboard here in the proper pronunciation? There we go. There we go. Thank you so much. Oh, my shit. Donnell Brown has trolled me with the goddamn Washington Commanders. He says, member for 19 months, go Washington Commanders. Donnell Brown with the $2, go Washington Commanders. I'm assuming they're winning. All right. So good Washington. I'm a Giants fan, so take it what you will on that one. We're all winners today. There we go. We're all winners. When we all win, when the whole NFC East wins, we all win. Or something like shit like that. There's my quote for the day. So I don't know. Phil, is he going to pull out?
Shinji Mikami.
I don't think so. But anyway, we will see what Phil's going to do at 6 a.m. in the morning. Just remember, when you're taking your dump, you could turn it on and Phil will be there talking the bullshit out your ass and maybe help you with your morning shit. So I don't know. We know that they're opposing. We know if Phil's going to pretend he could speak Japanese for a second. welcome. He's just gonna say some bullshit, and this is all posing. He's gonna look like he cares about Japan. Meanwhile, he don't give a shit. He's doing it from the studios in his backyard, and he's doing a video of the Tokyo Showtime. They don't even have I don't think you have a booth. Does he even go in there? I don't think even Phil's going there. He's doing his video from the Microsoft Studios. That's what he's doing. But with that, what an amazing show. It was a pleasure to have Kofi on here and Thrifty. Thank you so much, guys. We stayed the whole time here. We got through all the friggin' topics. Holy crap, there was tons. And we even added the topic in the middle about the 30th anniversary. Yeah, I appreciate all your contributions and you know, everything you guys are saying and all your info on the topics that we had today. So let them know where they can find you. We hit over 150 likes. Thank you so much, Grinders. I think we're on our way to 200 likes. We are now at 159. Incredible. Let's try to get those up as we do our outros. But Grinders, I want to thank you again for coming through. Thrifty, tell them where to find you and where your show is.
All right, so y'all can find me at the Playground on Wednesday nights at 8:45. You can find that on Thrifty PS Gamer Reviews. That is my channel on YouTube. You can also find me on X at Thrifty PSGR. And yeah, got some pretty cool stuff coming up. So yeah, hope to see y'all over there.
Nice. And
also,
good.
Hell yeah to the chat. Y'all were freaking awesome tonight. Y'all were interactive. Y'all were talking to us directly. That was really cool. I truly appreciate that. Y'all are awesome.
Oh yeah, Grinders are awesome. The chat is the best. They are the best chat on the YouTubes. That's what I have to say. They're interacting. They're funny. They crack. This is the thing. They make me laugh all the time. Like they have the jokes. I think about. I see from people making jokes in the chat and stuff like that. It's great. That's why I love it. I love just the community of Grinders that we have here. And Thrifty has, and I know a lot of you guys watch Thrifty too. So that love goes over there as well. So I appreciate that there. I see M just showed up. Hey M, how you doing, man? Yeah, we're ending. Sorry, man. We got to get M on here next. That's what we're going to get M. We're going to talk cameras. We'll get on there. And then Vicky came in here. I don't know what Vicky's doing. I like the window signs, Vicky. But we just, keep it clean here. Or Vicky, you're going into the grindhouse, goddamn outhouse. That's where you'll go to if you start talking some mean shit. We don't like that. But Vicky can hang around with her window sign. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. And then we got Kofi. Kofi, tell them where they can find you. We got
Shinji Mikami.
There he is. We got him right here on the Grinds board. He's going to live here forever. Thank you, Kofi. Proper pronunciation. And
man.
Kofi, where can I find you?
As usual, guys, on Twitter /X, creative_Kofi. Usually talking about imports. Recently obsessed with Remnant 2, but definitely getting back into the imports later this year. Yeah, guys, you guys can always see new games with whatever I'm importing. There's going to be a whole bunch of Legend of Heroes stuff I'll be posting in October. Yeah, looking forward to see on. Oh, yeah, for you, Jez, I wanted to say, man, I remember when you first decided to start this channel when we were still on Saltiest Gaming. So to see the growth, to see this community, it's crazy, man. Seriously, I think back. I'm like, man, I'm always checking in. I always quietly listen. And this is just awesome. So shout out to your community and your consistency, man.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we just it's been great. And yeah, thank you again for coming on the show. And then we got one more prediction. I didn't want to leave anybody. We got one more prediction by our great grinder over here.
Great ass!
Sign my ass with the Seek 50. He came in here. I missed the chat, but we're going to get it right now. He says tomorrow, Herman's going to come out with Mark Cerny sitting on his shoulders. Oh, shit. There we go. Now, that's a friggin' prediction right there. That's what I say. That's exactly the kind of show we need tomorrow. We need Herman coming out there with Mark Cerny on the shoulders. Herman coming out there have a steam bath with a one towel wand from the Japanese gardens that he lives in. And Herman coming out the spa going, now you get to see the games that we've been cooking. That's what I need to see. But thank you, Sign My Ass. Great name here on the Gaming Grindhouse. Hit that like button, Grinders. And we are out. So let me play my outro music. Where is it? Oh, crap. Here it is. Yeah. Hit that like button. share it out, grinders. Timestamps will be coming your way.
Grindhouse rock the night. Ultimate grinder shining bright. Jamming tunes till morning light. Leave the fake games out of sight. VIPs with emojis fly. Party into the sunrise sky. Quality games we can't deny. No trash fingers, let's keep it high. Celebrate, we rise together. Gaming Grindhouse now
and VIPs.
Feel the beat and feel
and Ultimate Grinders music coming your way.
This is our hour. Controllers click and screens do blaze. Endless fun in countless ways. Laughs and cheers in a gaming haze. Feelness free, we set the craze. Pixel worlds where dreams do soar. Epic battles, legends roar. Power on, let's play some more. In this place we all adore. Celebrate, we rise together. Gaming Grindhouse now and ever. Feel the beat and feel the power. Grind all night, this is our hour. With emojis fly, party into the sunrise sky. Quality games we can't deny. No trash fingers, let's keep it high. Celebrate, we rise together. Gaming Grindhouse now and ever. Feel the beat and feel the power. Grind all night, this is our hour.
Thank you again, Grinders. Good night.